What is up, guys? It is Saturday, December 20th. I hope you're having wonderful seasonal vacation. I hope you guys have started everything you're supposed to start for your holidays. Man, fuck that holidays shit. It's about Christmas. If you celebrate anything else, well, not anything else. Not any other holiday, but if you celebrate anything else on Twitter right now, shame on you. You are a hater who enjoys watching people who step in the arena while you're at your fucking couch being a cuck bitch. Let's be real, we gotta attack everyone so we increase the level of consciousness here so we do something for the earth evolution. Most people watching on their televisions, on their couches, are never gonna step into a fight in 72 years of their life. That means you're living life as a faggot. But we can't attack those guys because we don't know who the fuck they are. We gotta attack Jake Paul and Andrew. We gotta attack Jake and Andrew because they're in the arena, right? They asked for it. You want the money? Okay, then we get to make fun of you guys. Um, It's bittersweet, man, because if you know anything about me, I'm the kind of guy that even if two guys don't like each other, like me and Tate, we don't like each other that much, but we don't like each other because we're alike. You know, red pill people are alike each other. You'll notice in life that people you're very alike to, right? You have similarities with them. There's a lot of friction there. You'll see this with even small countries, right? That start beefing each other. Big countries that beef each other. The ones that have a lot in common actually beef the most. And that's just how the world works. There's a lot of friction there because, hey, you're doing what I'm trying to do, but you're trying to do it at a different angle and blah blah blah. And so, I want to say like was I didn't watch it. I watched the clips, but I'm the first one on these clips, man. And I watched the Jake Paul one yesterday, but the Andrew Tate one's even funnier because I never realized that I like Tate. Like I actually like the red pill guy. I wanted him to win. I didn't know that. I didn't even who you could never ever know what's in my head. Did Zherka want Chase to win or Tate? I was like so neutral about that. I didn't even watch the fight. When I saw the clips, I was shocked. I'm like, that's AI. That has to be AI. That that what I'm seeing, and there's no hype behind it either. So it must be like AI. And the clips are like really slowly popping off. Nothing like I guess we're used to Netflix clips from yesterday. And yeah, it was bittersweet. It was like, wait a minute, I'm on Team Red Pill. Why the fuck? Why the fuck is he losing this hard? And look, it's one thing if you're not a fighter. Maybe you brawled, maybe you did something. But if you're a world champion, you've dedicated your whole life to fighting, there is no way that you can just lose that energy. That is the worst thing that could happen to your soul. You can win all this money in the world, but you lose what kept you from going insane in this world. Like, remember when Connor made all that money, and I would talk about karmic balancing, where I'm like, here's the devil's most interesting trick is not that he's with the devil or anything, but I'm saying when ego inflation trials happen, and it happens to all of us, we all lose ourselves in the sauce. And for Connor, what's the worst thing that could happen to him is losing what he binded his soul to. He binded his soul to fighting to get out of whatever situation he was in. Same with Andrew Tate. Same with a lot of these guys. It's so crushing to see someone lose their talent for playing violin, playing football, fighting, boxing, whatever it is. When you see a human being lose their talent, this is not something you could just go, ha ha, lol, bro. This is something so tragic that never goes away, that people live with and become recluses and drunks for the rest of their lives because of shit like this. You don't know how horrific it is because you're comparing it to a talent. Maybe you were good at something as a kid, as a teenager, and then you lost it. No, it's not the same thing. It's becoming really good at something that has to be in your life, or you will jump off a bridge. If you ever became really good at something because it was your only door into the world of sanity, or what do you call what? No one on earth is actually sane. Is 8 billion fucked up people on earth. Let's be real, but we all bind to something. And whether it's danger or this or a skill set or whatever, some humans even bind to a woman, or some ladies bind to a man or whatever. People bind to something to keep them on that raft still, so they don't just drown in the ocean, right? They don't just drown in time. They don't, lose it in their incarnation. Let's get it deep. I want to laugh because, oh, this guy said something about me. Now I get to say something about him, but I don't want to laugh because I don't even know who the fuck Chase is. It's a reality star? Who is this guy? They're showing clips of Chase's, that should be his first boxing match, which I was shocked. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I thought I'm the only one who was on drugs during all this shit. Is everyone on drugs right now? Like, what the fuck is going on? And it turns out, no, that's Chase's first boxing match sober. He just, was like that. And I was like, okay, why does Andrew Tate have my drug legs? When you can't even hold yourself up on drugs? Like, forget the fighting part. Why could he not hold himself up during the fight? Because we know Tate doesn't do drugs. He doesn't even drink. He doesn't do any of that stuff. There's nothing he could say. And, you can't say he's having a bad day either because he knew about this. He trained about this. And I'm not saying he trained for a couple of months and stuff, but this is such an important lesson to every human that you can be a black belt, you can be a world champion. And if you're out of the game for a couple years, everything you built disappears. If you're out of the game for a couple of years, if you're out of the mindset for a couple of months, even, everything you have built your whole life that kept you afloat from suicide disappears like sand through your fingers. And so, as much as I want to laugh and, I have that impulsive response like everyone else, like, oh, we get to make fun of the top G. It's a huge lesson, huge, huge fucking lesson in the world that Tate is you. Andrew Tate is you. If you're not on top of your shit, something is slipping from your fingers. And imagine if it's a love affair like your fighting skills. Like Andrew Tate's fighting skills is his biggest love affair. That the only time he doesn't sound like a cringe faggot is when he talks about fighting. The only time he looks like a man. He usually looks like a faggot, but the only time he looks like a man is when he talks about fighting. The look in his eye changes, and it's like the fire's there, and it's like, whoa, oh, this guy got saved by fighting. This guy's life was saved by fighting. This guy, when he was broke, didn't have chicks and looting everything he owes to fighting. And you divorce him from that, or excuse me, he divorces himself from that because he got soft with the rich boy life while he was force feeding us content about being a winner. So that whole 2023, 2024, 2025, he was just lying in every clip saying, you got to be the best, you got to do this many push-ups. Every clip where he's working hard was actually a lie. He would only show us some of his workouts, but most of the time he was just getting softer. And what I mean by that is that's impossible what the fuck just happened in that boxing ring. That is something fucking impossible. And I know kickboxing is very different from boxing. I get that. I know Chase is big and he, comes in with the element of surprise. But the idea that you're a world champion, meaning you can adapt. That to be a world champion is not a skill set. It is adapting because every skill set you have, for some opponents, it doesn't work. So you have to adapt. So if you're a world champion, by definition, you adapt and you overcome. But it was very different because this is not like sports. This is fighting. So if you get hit hard, you get that fear like, oh, that really hurt. That shook my soul. That pushed my etheric body out of me for a sec. Like, what the fuck? Or excuse me, that, you know what I mean? And to me, I'm like, yo, before we make fun of this, can't we all talk about this as a lesson? So Andrew Tate, me, you, and everyone listening to this benefits off of a loss like that. Because if we all just laugh at content like that, none of us benefit in our future. No human will benefit if they just go unconscious and laugh at a loss. Like, because you're laughing and saying, "What the hell happened, bro?" But then we can reverse it to you. What's going to happen to you listening to this? Isn't this like a huge reason to be on top of all of your shit? Isn't this like a massive reason that, hey, all the hard work you do in the world is actually a rhythm. It has nothing to do with those lies that everyone says you just put in the hard work, you get something out. No, dude, you can put 10 years of hard work. If you get off that hard work for a few months or a year, all that rhythm, that whatever that tone and vibration you synced up to is now off your thing. It's off, you feel off in your own body. And this is terrifying because it's like, yeah, this happens to people. It's not a big deal. It shouldn't happen to world champions. And definitely not like that, in a way where Andrew Tate looked like the least athletic person on earth. Where I still remember thinking, I'm like, there's something about this dude that is off. That ever since 2023 or something, who he was has shifted. Like something in his eyes died. Ever since he did that video where he said his dad bought him a Batman lunchbox when he was getting canceled. Do you remember that video? Something him appealing to the liberals. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, that's not how you do it. You know, usually you get canceled, your fire grows. You get hungry for war. His is kind of like, hey, I want to be diplomatic and more Eurocentric, more Euro fag energy, right? I am European, so don't fucking drop the comments like, yo, again, what the. I don't give a fuck, bro. You know what I'm trying to say. Now, that diplomatic energy, I'm like, I wonder how much that could change someone because there's no way he's training with the fucking Tiger champions in Thailand that he was a diplomat when he was a fighter. This diplomatic energy, this whatever this compromised energy is, it didn't leave Andrew's eyes for a while. It was almost like every time we saw a clip of Andrew, he was just getting richer and richer while his relevancy is going down, right? Which is normal. Like nobody wants to be on the internet for, you get your money and, you do your thing, right? You get your money, push your message, push what you want to push and all that, that's all the good stuff. But staying on the internet all the time is kind of gay. It's kind of like watching live streamers, like, those live streamers that turn on their channels and they'll be with their girlfriend 7 days a week, and you know everything about them. You know how they walk. You know how they talk. To me, that lifestyle is unless you're doing some crazy shit. That lifestyle is not healthy. Fusing with the internet. Andrew Tate fused with the internet so hard he made hundreds of millions of dollars. Don't forget that part, right? You can't just shit on the guy because he's destroying your life business model right now. He's destroying you. But no human, especially men, no man on this call gives a fuck about money when we're looking at a fight. When we're looking at a fight, the only thing we care about is, wait a minute, it's not the money, it's not the partying, it's not the bitches, it's not, wait a minute, my tools are not sharp anymore. I am not who I was. I am a shadow of what I was. And every man growing up goes through this thing because, we enter the business world, start making a lot of money, and the first thing we think of is, well, the real world doesn't even have that many fights. It's kind of like, people are fucking pussies nowadays. Like everyone on this call is a fucking faggot pussy. We've seen what you guys act like in public, right? Everyone listening to this, I'm not saying this because you guys are my guys or Tate's guys or whatever. I'm saying if you look at the statistics, like the Fight Club statistics, 99.9% of you listening to this will get bumped on the road and will never do anything about it. You guys will get bumped walking with your wife, your girlfriend, whatever. You'll get shoulder checked on the road, and none of you will do anything about it, even the big boys. So don't forget who you are before you make fun of someone on the internet, right? Don't forget that your soul is extremely young and it hasn't matured. It hasn't done anything of what you wanted to do. But this is a great lesson. This is something you need to remember, that the richness in life comes from doing that thing you're afraid to do. It's not from the money and stuff like that. That's why the money and stuff, when Tate shows the yacht, it doesn't excite you. There's no fire in your blood there. But he loses the fight, you jump off your seat. You're like, what the fuck? And man, there's some guy said to me last call, he said, well, Zherka, you've only been super healthy for like 2 years, I guess. I don't know about super healthy, but healthy, right? And the rest of your life, you were just a fucking destroying yourself, your body, your mind, your everything. And I'm like, no, that's not true. I was peak healthy till 24 years old. 25, 26, 27 is, I went crazy on what I'm supposed to do. I took it too far. But again, when I preach health, I'm saying like, forget Andrew Tate and the world champion stuff. Dude, whatever you're going through, the aging process is going to weaken you. Whatever you're going through in 2026, you're going to be a weaker version of yourself unless you stay on that rhythm and keep doing what you do. That rhythm that Andrew Tate fell off of was so horrific to watch. Or maybe the UFC fighters like Kevin Lee and them are correct that he probably could never fight to begin with. I'm not saying he couldn't whoop your guys' ass. I'm saying that kickboxing stuff is not really the same shit as I mean, there's no way when Andrew Tate said, I'm 40, that, he kind of used it as an excuse, but all of his content is built around being 40 and how age is, doesn't matter. And you know what I mean by that? Where it's like, wait a minute. By the way, I come from a world where 40 is not even that old. Like, there's no fucking way what are you talking about? 40 is that old? For Chase, 40s, what? No, no, no. That you cannot say you're 40. That can't be a partial excuse. 40, okay, sure. If you're a random 40-year-old guy, I get that, but you're a 40-year-old world champion. Okay, so what the fuck is going on? And I get people can have bad days, but look, man, he cannot use no excuse like I'm on drugs. He can't even use the excuse of the influencer excuse of I'm not even a fighter. I just jump in here to steal the money and the bitches. He can't even use the Jake Paul excuse because he's a world champion. So what is the excuse that he didn't guard his face while Chase was doing that weird kind of flurry? And holy shit, this is opening pieces in my mind that's making me realize, Tate is a smart guy. When he said you take an average man off the street, any human off the street, and you get them to punch you in the fucking head, it's gonna hurt. As in, like anyone can, prepare a bit in the boxing arena and they can do some damage. And I'm like, wait a minute, we gotta look at what he said there with way more energy. He's right. Chase is some dude off the street. Isn't Chase like some reality? I don't know anything about Chase, but Andrew Tate was gonna fight Jake Paul, and now his head just looks too small, and his legs that are just caving in look too kind of narrow, and everything looked weird next to Chase. And Chase looked athletic, not the best, but he looked athletic. He looked like he's hammering Tate's small little head right from the start, and it was shocking because I've never in my life seen a world champion get fucked up like that, where it's like, dude, you're not making me happy. You're not making anyone happy. You're not. No one on earth is happy. Even his haters cannot be jumping up and down because what you're watching is a world champion get fucking raffle stomped on some Super Smash Bros. Shit. And so forget Tate. Don't before you make fun of Tate, if you see a world champion, let all of his energy, life force, skill set slip through his fingers because I don't know what he's been working with dual bits. I don't know what the fuck he's been doing. But if all that could just leave his hard drive, what skill set have you developed your whole life that could easily vanish if you hang around the wrong crowds, chill with the wrong people, get lazy, get distracted? If if a dude that focused and concentrated, like Tate is he's worked on his consciousness soul more than most people. He knows how to wake up and seize the day, get the money, get the trophies, get the championships. This is not an average soul. You guys listening to me are extremely average by statistic. You guys are much below that threshold of consciousness. So what you watched right there is not Tate losing badly to some random dude. What you guys watched there is a reminder of any human off their rhythm. Before we talk about fire, let's just talk about rhythm. And remember, he was working out throughout the whole time, so it's a different kind of rhythm. It's like he left the fight rhythm for the doing push-ups with a cigar rhythm, or doing his fucking emails with a weight or whatever the fuck he's trying to. And I'm this is not a hit piece to attack Tate. It's more like a reminder to the world that Tate is a world champion. Andrew Tate was at one point in his life a world champion. And I guess the best counter argument is, well, he's in kickboxing. He was in kickboxing. It's very different. But that hurts badly that a random kid can go from the shittiest YouTube influencer boxer in the league, and he's just a healthy kid, doesn't party, doesn't, he's just like, you could tell he's a healthy kid. And he goes from the shittiest, healthiest kid to whatever that performance was, but that performance was just enough to fuck up Andrew Tate's face worse than we've ever seen. It looked like he got jumped by three dudes by the end of it. It was like, when you see his face, it is shredded up. It's not just a little glow, it's not a little bump, it is shredded up. And that's not even the scary part. The scary part is when you watch his defense. You know how everyone goes unconscious and goes, under pressure, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know when I watch Canelo, I know what I expect from Canelo. You know how humans, they all suck. But when they watch Floyd, they go, Floyd should go back to his shell. You immediately download Floyd by watching him, right? Not for yourself. I'm saying just for the entertainment part, right? Unless you're more higher level in consciousness, right? But let's just stick to the basics right now and just focus on when you watch Floyd, you know what Floyd should be doing. From the outside in, you watch him enough, you go back to that Philly stance and you'll be good and blah, blah, blah. So with Tate, you've watched him spar and you know he looks great sparring. He looks tight. He looks like his reflexes are faster, everything. But then the timeline shifts. And by timeline shifts, I mean when you don't keep up with the cells, which are the stars of the universe, your cells in your body. Each one of you have a universe in you. If you do not keep up and feed them correctly, whatever Andrew Tate's been doing, he has not been feeding his soul, meaning it's not the same soul as whatever went through all that. That's why at the end of the fight, he had that face of he was about to cry because, and I felt really bad because he's crying for his own soul. That same vigor and energy that brought him to, just from a kid in Luton to, somewhere in the world, that same kind of storyline has to go this way now, where it cannot go any worse for him because he bought that company. Now the company is known for this. And that's why KSI is like, laugh my fucking ass off. By the way, I love KSI. I know a lot of my fans don't like him, but you guys are fucking weirdos, bro. The guy says such good stuff about me. Behind the scenes, he's always had my back, always offered me opportunities, always wanted me to make money, always just from everyone in all in. And it's weird because I hate British people. He's the only exception. But KSI is just a dude who doesn't take anything personal. Logan and his brother get mad when I troll them, but KSI never got mad. He's like, Zherka, Zherka, whatever. And yeah, it's funny to see KSI laughing and stuff like that. But I'm like, yo, KSI, you're making music right now. You shouldn't be laughing. You should be training because if a world champion can lose that much, let's use the term aura. If a world champion can lose that much, remember, guys, I come from a world where me and my bouncer buddies would snort lines and do trend and brawl with people on the street, and I swear to God, all of us could have killed Tate today. Tonight, our old versions of ourselves, hell, we'll fight the old version of Tate, right? Not in no kickboxing, but just some random scuffle. It was like shocking because every man, especially my age, you'll see younger versions of yourself wrestling at Brat's house with Alex Baines and just two guys at the same time, and you're fucking dominating. And Elisa's like, what the fuck? And I go on my Twitch stream and go, you guys see that shit? You guys see that shit? I'm fucking. And, that's 26 years old, 27, 28, 29. You're neglecting your body. You're getting weaker. You're less athletic. You're partying more. And then you're like a fucking shell of what you were. And you don't care because you got rich. You don't care because you're not threatened by the world. Like, who's what, these chatters are going to press you? These fucking pussies? But that's horrific. If the whole world goes soft, doesn't mean you go soft because the whole world goes soft, or Tate gets rich so he can go soft now. Dude, there's something about the man that when he goes soft, go study Tate's face at the end of the fight, dude. It hurts my heart, man. It hurts my heart because I'm like, every man goes through that where they let go a piece of themselves that's not allowed for civil society. They weaken their version of themselves. They're, I'm sure his family and friends, bro, I've been through this. Your family and friends go, what the fuck happened to you, bro? But they're not going to say it to him tonight. They're all shook because they know how important a world champion's fighter's soul is to him. That's the only piece of him that he can relate to, right? All that adventure he's gone through. And dude, it's almost like humans always fail the ego inflation trial. And what I mean by this is like, let's look at someone like Justin Bieber. Ego grew big, and then he kind of became like the shittiest. He the car, the karmic balancing happens because the ego inflation gets too big. You cannot let your psyche, your mind and soul get luciferic, even though you need it for some genius. Some of you guys go more cold, like satanic, cold calculative thinking. I'm saying some people go more hot, passionate, like Luciferic, right? But you'll see the guys, the best, just look at the Hollywood guys. Tom Cruise loves to stay in the middle. He keeps dominating. There is no karmic balancing for Tom Cruise because he's a moral machine. He's a moral machine in the universe, right? And by moral machine, I don't mean just being a good person. I mean to himself. But there's these weird parts of life that sweep us. And if you cannot relate to the championship fighter, just think of you guys who went through divorces. Okay? Think of that divorce and how much it changed you. Or you guys who went through nasty breakups, right? Now, I'm telling you, this is still works on the soul the exact same way, where things change you, where you're not evolving, you hate yourself because you're not evolving, and that girlfriend, that wife, that fighter in front of you, someone in the real world will say, oh, so you think you're just going to do lines of blow, ketamine, diazepam, muscle relaxant, Percocet until you're dying with. Do you see my blood pressure when I had my Charlie Sheen phase? Did you see my blood pressure on the stream? You cannot party that hard and expect the universe, what you are generating, what you're co-creating for yourself to evolve your soul, what your higher self chooses. You cannot get that dark. And I don't know why people think when I make these kind of, I make these spaces and people go, man, those spaces Zherka makes really are awesome. Everything he talks about is like he makes it so everyone can understand it, but he sounds like a coach. I don't mean this from a coach perspective. I don't mean this from a master's perspective. I mean this as a human, just a regular human, just like you, just like Andrew Tate, just like human in front of God. That's all we are. That's every person on earth. That's all we are. Just think of that vulnerability. And how many times we lose our center for illusions and fantasies and all sorts of things that we thought we wanted but actually didn't. And you go back in the books and you realize if it doesn't evolve your soul, you don't actually want it. And the only things that evolve your soul are things that are really hard to go through. That means there's no part of life that should be easy if you were to maximize Earth evolution. But you look at the average person when they're drifting off into unconscious states, dude, 8, 12 hours of their day is very easy. And I could sound cocky because I've had this last year that's just perfection, a lot of work done. But in my head, I'm like, there's the Andrew Tate example of, do you dare fall off this rhythm? Do you dare fall off this rhythm? And you have to, you have to connect with people. You gotta pipe some fucking bitch sometime. You have to generate love and go out on that date. But some of you don't come back from that date. Andrew Tate starts staying with 38-year-old women hookers from Romania, right? Like he dabbled there a little too long because there's no way Chase should be killing a world champion. There's no there's no universe where this makes sense. Especially because we saw Tate's recent sparring footage, and it was just sad, like how little people were there. Because influencers have this thing where they make this illusion that they're bigger than they actually are, and we start thinking they're Conor McGregor size, but they're not. They're not Khabib size. They're not, like, when they go fight, nobody watched it, right? Now, Jake Paul did great with Anthony Joshua. I want to talk about Jake and Anthony. Um, I'm just shocked that the red pill guy lost because I don't, it's bittersweet. I don't want the red pill to ever lose, but that was just like, hey man, you've been partying with fucking whores for too long, and I'm the only one who can say it to your face because guess what? That's relatable. I'm the only human on earth that you can relate to right now. That, hey, if some random chatter said it, no one would believe that he's surrounded by bitches and drowning, right? I'm saying it right now that that's a horrible position to be in, where every single rapper childhood fantasy is maximized. And I maximize it. My haters seethe. Love that. I love that outcome, right? And I get to, fuck these bad bitches. Wow, this is great. This is all. She's all. She's not. You get to pick and choose. This is the whole point of being famous. I get it. But there's this thing about drowning in the sauce, and you don't realize you've drowned until much later. And it's almost like every comment is trying to remind the person, hey, Tate, you were on a great evolutionary path. You have much more life to live. Stay on that path because this is not how you want to do things for your life. This is not who you want to lose to. Look, man, if you lose a fight to some random dude, that's different. If it's some dude that's respectable, whatever. Tate could have lost to Jake Paul. He wanted that fight. Jake would have killed him with that overhead. That overhead shot that he did on Anthony, imagine that landed on Tate's tiny little scrotum of a head. That's fucking wild if you think about he would have punctured his head in. It would have been like it could have possibly killed him. Jake Paul could have possibly killed this 40-year-old version of Andrew Tate, which 40 is not that old. Like, what are we talking about here? What the hell is going on? And honestly, it felt like a natural fighting some juiced up guy who started landing a few of his shots. That's what it looked like with the chase thing. Now, Jake Paul is a different animal because as much as we want to hate on Jake Paul, especially because he unfollowed me, after he loved and sucked me off, he unfollowed me. He was like sucking me off more than any fangirl. Now he's like, what the hell, bro? All because I said, bro, you're Jewish? Like that, it was weird to find out he's Jewish and he's like flexing. I'm like, what the, so I made fun of him for that and he unfollows for that. So what the fuck was that about? But let's stick to the facts, right? We don't have to like Jake. We have to talk honest about him. Jake Paul has worked his ass off. And everything he's worked hard for has evolved his soul so much that it's like respect. It's respect from all angles. And it shows with the money, with everything. But we're forgetting one thing, that everything Jake worked for 6 years was stopped by Anthony Joshua because the first comment that, and Jake's not like me, he actually takes these comments serious. To be a high level influencer, you have to be addicted to reading comments. Not sometimes, and not like me that I can be in the game and out of the game. These guys, Logan, Jake, you should see when they're getting canceled. They're like, oh, I'm sorry to the first comment. They're like shitting their pants. It's very weird, but that's what that's catering to your audience. That's what they do to stay on top. And so, yeah, first comment saying, dude, this is what happens when Jake fights a real boxer, or this is the line difference from a YouTube boxer and Anthony Joshua professional, who's also bigger. In my head, I'm thinking like, damn, Jake went through 6 years of hell, torture on earth, training, fighting, sparring, just risking everything to get blasted like by an Anthony Joshua that wasn't even hitting him for the first couple rounds, because first 5 rounds didn't give a fuck about anything. He just want to peak the viewership, make even more money off this, and that's how it works. If you don't know how the shit works, guys, there, when fighters are dancing for peak viewership, they're waiting for something. Okay, so they can get paid more. They don't sit down and talk to each other. Yo, in the 6th round, you do this. 7th round, I do. That's not how it works. They smile at each other in a private meeting and they say, we're going to give them a show. And then Anthony Joshua will smile back at Jake and say, yeah, we're going to give them a show. And Jake will be like, yeah, I'm sure it's going to just build up and build up. And then bam, one of us is going to land and everyone's going to scream. And Anthony Joshua was like, yeah, I could just see myself feeling you out for, dancing in there. And, it's just everyone's coming in and some people are going to be late though. So what do we do for that kind of promo and stuff? And yeah, well, we're just going to have to give him a show and show all of our skill sets, but they're using language like dragging it on. They're speaking with language in a private meeting that they're going to drag it on for 6 rounds. That's how you don't go to prison. If you don't want to go to prison, you have to smile in each other's faces with your lawyers right there. None of you are allowed to actually say what's going to happen, but both of you have enough experience in the boxing world to know how it goes when you want to get the largest pay cut. Now, after 8 meetings in a row, 5-hour meetings each of how it's marketed, how it works, how people stream into the service. They have every detail. That's why Anthony Joshua has more details about the business side of things than details on how Jake Paul actually fights. He's not worried about Jake, right? But that's how, in a weird way, it's not corrupt because they didn't say face to face that they're going to do that. But it's implied when, hey, if you hit this many viewers, this is your bonus. If you get it, that's how the money is structured. The reason the money is structured like this for peak viewer count is so that neither of them get ahead of themselves and snake each other. Or they a lot of times they'll worry and say, wait a minute, what if I never get the shot again with Jake? This is easy money. I might as well milk the shit out of this one. Right? So there's so many incentives that go to making it like, if you're an idiot if you think Jake lasted 6 rounds, where Anthony Joshua doesn't fucking use his right arm at all. Like what the like his first cross was broke his fucking jaw. Like the first shot he had down the pipe just broke Jake Paul's jaw, and it was scary because I don't know if you've ever felt that from someone, but if someone hits you really hard like that, it's not a pain thing of like body to body, it's soul to soul, where you feel all of the other human being's soul anger. And that has a way of humbling the fuck out of you if you're not prepared for it. Even some like lighter shots to like the stomach, you can feel someone's aggression puncture yours. But to blast your jaw in half, holy, what did Jake feel? And it didn't just ping all over his body, it went right to the skull. Just all that energy, it's got nowhere to go. It just went right through his fucking face. And you see this big Titan gladiator nigga, like, well, I shouldn't say that because this Anthony Joshua's like the whitest person on earth, right? He's like the nicest guy on earth too. But yeah, that was wild to see. And I remember thinking, I'm like, it would have been funnier if Jake actually landed some kind of miracle shot. Like he lands these overhands, and which he did, and it didn't do anything to Anthony Joshua, which kind of implies that Jake doesn't have the power that they marketed towards. You know how everyone says Jake Paul has insane power? Yeah, you don't want to jump in there with him. He has insane power, but not how they marketed to us. The way they marketed Jake Paul's power to us is it got totally exposed with the Anthony Joshua thing, that Jake's a powerful guy, but in the boxing professional world, no, he's not. No, he's not. Right? And I don't think he'd do that good against Gervonta, but it seems like everyone's gonna just milk Jake for the money. Right? If you can't tell what's a scripted kind of fight, not that they spoke about it, but like I said, so it is sad, but you're looking at the last days of capitalism, man. This is the what the world's at. Like Donald Trump is known for, what is Donald Trump's biggest business? It's not his towers, it's not politics, it's his crypto rug. That's his $8 million. That's what he's known for. We're in the final days of capitalism before something fucking shifts, and it's sad because everything you watch is fake and gay. Like the Anthony Joshua fight, you might have enjoyed it, but you like a lot of you guys are probably thinking this feels fake and gay. And I remember thinking this 5 years ago. I'm like, can influencers do anything to the boxing world, or does boxing just have to die out, just like the UFC's been dying the fuck out? I enjoy it, but do I really? I like Alex Pereira, and that's about it. Everything and a bit of Ilya, but you know, UFC lost its fucking whatever that business aura that it had. And same with boxing, went to shit, and feels like everything's gone to shit. And it's because of capitalism. Look at Hollywood movies. They just want to give you Marvel Cinematic Universe, the shittiest scripts on earth. By the way, if you absorb bad scripts like a Marvel movie, and you grow up with Marvel movies, and those sustain your whatever, those fill in your fantasy, your soul fantasy moments that you still need as a human, right? The storytelling you still need it in the tribe. If the storytelling is bad, you actually don't know what to do when trauma meets you in life. That's why the tribe leader would always have the strongest stories to prepare you on what to do archetypally when you're caught with your pants down in the world, which is going to happen to all of you. Trauma is going to hit you. And we've lost our stories, we've lost our fighters, we've lost everything in the world because The world is being sucked out by technology, dude. You don't know how evil technology is. You don't know how base the Amish are. The Amish have so much more soul development than anyone you could think of. The only people you think are killing it are like such a tiny, like, think of Anthony Joshua. His consciousness soul is so high level. Look what he's doing in his life, right? Totally great, totally not coping. But look at everyone in the stands of that Miami stadium. Did you see a lot of unconscious human beings or people drifting, kind of going here to there? And by the way, drifting means that some of those people will commit suicide, right? Drifting is a horrible thing. Don't ever think it's a cute thing that the soul does. There's nothing cute about that. There's nothing cute about following fucking retards who don't know how to move in the world. By what I mean is, what does a young man want to do? Whatever a young man wants to do, he should actually go for it and do it with no hesitation. If he hesitates, he has bad tribe leaders. If if you've ever, let's say you only followed KSI your whole life, or Logan or someone, maybe KSI. Let's blame a black guy, yeah. Let's say you followed only one channel, KSI, your whole life, and you're 25 years old, your life sucks. It's very easy where we can find the blame, because as much as you want to say, oh, just you got to take the blame for yourself, dude, you're getting influenced by the world still. So yeah, it's your fault that you followed that channel, but you would immediately know, whoa, my life changed when I unfollowed KSI and I switched and followed this person, or I didn't follow anyone and I stayed in my own path, and then I was forged like a diamond. It would be so simple for you to adjust your path. But because you follow a bunch of people, you never know who's actually benefiting your journey. And by your journey, I mean you're in your own body, not your mom, not your dad, not your cousins, not your brothers. No one else is in your body with you. Feel it right now. You've always had this sense of, the more individual, the more I individuate, the more kind of alone and intense the world gets. Everyone feels this and they cope in different ways. But I'm telling you, that intensity is not something you cope with, right? That is fire you use to forge yourself with. And if you don't take life somewhat seriously, it can sneak up on you. Like everyone you watch that parties all the time, they don't do the Zherka lifestyle where he'll work hard 3 months, party few weeks, work hard 3 months, party few weeks. No, most people who you guys follow party nonstop. They can't stop partying. And you think because you're watching these clips that that's how the soul evolved. Well, his face got more mature, he got older, so his soul must have evolved. And no, dude, no, you're not getting it. Everyone you follow is doing something to you. You're seeing a part of yourself in the person you follow. And so that's why you like them. That's why you stick onto them, and that's why they don't let you go, right? It's like it turns into some kind of ghost in your life. And I'm telling you right now, Andrew Tate, as much as I want to shit on the guy, huge net positive for a lot of young men. The red pill is huge to young men. Like, who the fuck wants to get milked by some woman? I've been saying it way before Tate, but I'm glad he took it to that extreme. So, he's done some good things. Now, when he dropped on his knees like a fucking faggot for Islam, that's as gay as Tyson Hawkley, right? Just these white people sucking off Islam. What is up with there's a pandemic of white people afraid of Arabs, so they just bow down and start worshiping them. Dude, if you're afraid, go to church, boy. Go to church, find Christ if you're afraid, because that religion isn't going to do shit for you. What the fuck did Islam do for Tate? It shattered his soul. And I'm not saying that religion is not for, it is for the Arab people. I'm not these dumb Christians who say everyone on earth has to become a Christian. That's a stupid way to look at the world. Everyone evolves into their highest form, into their Christian form eventually, you know? And whatever Tate did to sell out for money, his soul didn't like it. Bro, when your higher self doesn't like something you're doing, it will find the most humiliating way to say, stop that shit. That's not your path. I'm telling you right now, when your higher self says, wait a minute, I chose you for so much more. Why the fuck are you just partying with hoes all day? And not because God or any of these people who act like you cannot hook up because God hates you. These people are called repressed Republican Christians. They're the gayest people on earth, by the way, right? Anytime a human says you cannot do something, you will want to do it. That's how the psyche works. Never forbid yourself from doing things. Say you don't want to do it. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. But to say you cannot do it, my religion doesn't allow me to do this, so I have to be perfect. And really, when have you been perfect your whole life? What are you talking about? You're getting repressed energy. Be careful, right? You're not Thomas Aquinas. You're on a way different level of soul evolution, right? Like a lot of you guys will be shocked at a lot of these mistakes you make. Hook up with a chick and stuff like that. You're going to be shocked on the other side that you think those impulses you had to do that was just God fucking with you, letting the devil get in your head? Or is that the best way to learn lessons? Is the whole matrix designed for you to evolve with a laugh, with a cry, with a fight, with money, with losing your job, with everything you do levels you up? And you want the bigger jumps, but never do you want to be Andrew Tate, where you get lost in the sauce. And hey, man, you can say, yo, Zherka did bad here. Zherka's not a world fucking championship fighter. You can't take anything away from me. If you're a world championship fighter and you're performing like that, if you're letting little 15-year-old faggots in chat think that they can be world champions, now they're getting cocky. Everyone in the comments is like, dude, I think I could beat Tate, which is the funniest shit ever. And it's true. Whatever the fuck he's been going through, and the internet has this way of making man afraid he's gonna die. So he starts fucking a lot of bitches. And that all comes from fear, by the way. Okay? And I'm a guy who always surrounded by bitches. I'm nothing like you. I'm not on your soul journey, I'm on mine. I'm way different path than yours, way higher up. But I could never lose myself in them. I'd sooner lose myself to an inner turmoil, war, drugs, something inward than to some fucking what? Tate is a sober man. His whole life sober. And so what softened him? Right? You can't, it's not MDMA softening him. It's like, what is it? What is softening his spirit right now? And it's like, is it those 38-year-old Romanian women he's around? What is it about Tate that performed that horrifically? And if it could happen that easily, don't ever say he's 40 years old. If it could happen to a world fucking champion, or maybe I'm just being too kind and I'm giving world champions way too much due. But I come from a world where, hey, dude, if you're a world championship fighter, respect. What the fuck? That's like the highest level of respect the man can get. What, you think I give a fuck about Donald Trump's money? You think I care about money that much? Like, what are you talking about? We should respect that more than anything. And it's kind of sad that he built his money with the women and the cam modeling thing when he was a fighter. It'd be so much cooler if he got paid for the fighting and shit, but didn't go like that. But yeah, we have to respect that stuff, because as men, who are we if we only, what are we respecting? Andrew Tate's dual bits Bitcoin hustle? Or, by the way, we have got to start talking about how it's normal now, especially on Twitter, for young men to waste their whole incarnations talking about Bitcoin in front of a computer trading all day. Dude, you will never be 21 years old again. You will never be 25 years old again. You will never be 28 years old again. You will never be 30 years old again. You will never be 35 years old again. What the fuck are you doing in front of that computer trading all day? That you really think you're made out of every star and you've got your own galaxy in you. Your metabolism has your metabolism is literally fucking stars digesting things, making them material, right? Bringing things up to spirit, and it's just doing. You've got universal powers in you, and you're trading all day. It's like, how dense are we in? How fallen are we that we're that deep in materialism that we don't even know we're special anymore? Like, nobody knows that the human, you could say the human's nothing but infinite potential. We've seen it in so many. We've seen it in people who are not even trying that hard, they're just morally forward, so they progress. We've seen our people who bust their ass off. We love those people the most. But man, what the fuck is going on with the Matrix, dude? We got Jake Paul dying in there for Christmas. And that wasn't that sad. That's like that was supposed to happen. But man, there's something aura filled about a Floyd Mayweather that Jake just will never have it. And neither will Andrew Tate. The word influencer is so cringe, dude. And I want to say I'm one of them because influencer just means you get a shit ton of money out of thin air. That's all it means, really. Uh, you can't describe it any other way because there's just too many different angles to do that kind of a job. But I also want to say the spirit of the influencer, or that easy money lifestyle, that just it's there's something about an influencer can always press the money button. Right now, I could do an ad money button. I could do whatever I want to do. I don't have to rely on my businesses. I could do some extra stuff and shock you guys. You guys would be like, hey, Zherka scam us. Let's see some serious money and stuff. I have an aversion to stuff because I'm trained differently. I understand that, first of all, you fuck someone over, forget karmically being balanced. Why would you want to fuck another soul over? You think of how much one person on earth goes through. And there's moments in life, like Tate right now, where you feel really bad for someone. And you don't know what to say because what are you gonna say to Tate right now? Tate's whole content is you're either a winner or a loser. You're either tough or a pussy. There's no trying, there's doing. And he changed all his whole brand into, oh, well, sometimes you gotta just try, man. What? Get in there and fight, you fucking faggot. Your whole content is about winning and fighting. And why are you talking to us about trying? Why are you ruining your whole business empire? Sounding like a fucking faggot saying, well, I tried my best against who? Chase? You think Zherka's afraid of jumping in there with Chase? We're supposed to be afraid of jumping in there with Tate. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Your whole business model is that anyone who tries is a faggot. There's doers and there's triers. That's your whole brand is built off that. And I know that's the ego inflation trial where you're on top, you say things, and they come bite you in the ass. Yeah. But it's like such a sad way to see this because, you know, the fastest way to build a business is to give absolutes. When you speak in absolutes, everyone fucks with you, right? because we want to see high stakes players, right? We want to see dangerous kind of souls. We don't give a fuck about chat and the way chat lives their life. We want to see reckless shit. But I never thought those words would come out of Tate's mouth, right? The words of I tried, and that's all that matters. And because there's a version of Tate that would hate that answer. And it's normal to hate that version of yourself that's that weak. I mean, you still have to accept them, they're still a part of you, but they got to stand aside and let your higher versions do the talking. And to see Tate that rattled where he lets go of the whole, I'll say it, persona. Feels like a persona now. Because Tate is trying to sell us that he's reckless, but he's actually calculative, like a nerd. Like we love him. We love seeing reckless energy. And he tried to sell us on that, but it turns out he's not reckless, he's calculative. That's why he's saying words like try this, that, like faggot words. And why is the whole world into the reckless? Is because humans are frozen. We love seeing go energy. There's a reason why kids love Goku, because the word go is in it. Did you know that? Have you ever seen a kid say Sonic and they just start running, like autistically running around the house because they said a word like an incantation? Words have power, man. And to say the words, I tried my, what did he say? I tried my best, and trying is better than not coming in here. And there's truth to that. Except your whole brand is made on making fun of people who try their best. You have a lot of clips where you sound polished, but the clips you popped off for was you either do it or you're a faggot. And we love those clips. It should be those clips. Because there's only two types of people on earth. You only have two versions of yourself, man. You have your personality and the inner man. The inner man is lost to most of you. Most of you are just run by your personality, which is kind of like the snake skin that's going to peel off. You're going to hate your life after. So I recommend you be all inner man in the world, right? You should have so much inner man built in this world that you can survive on an island alone. You with the fucking raft in the ocean. I'm not talking about finding food and all this faggot shit that everyone talks about. I'm saying if you're on a raft in the middle of the ocean, would you submit? Would you be paralyzed in fear, or would you stand on both feet and rise towards the sail, towards the wind, towards the direction you have to head in? Because that's where your soul is in life. That's what's supposed to happen when you meditate. You're supposed to rise on your feet and say, there's a long, long fucking journey ahead. Not just this lifetime. You have a long fucking way to go. And that version where you talk about trying and oh, me, I'll just try my best. That version, don't even talk, man. I don't. If I lose, I don't talk. I just go home. Okay, just to fucking grab the microphone and talk about. I tried my best. Could never imagine saying something like that. He should have grabbed the mic and said I lost, so he hears it from his own fucking words, and then walk home. The fuck on home. This whole fucking trying, make it sound like it's a dual bits promotion. It's like deal with the devil type shit. What the fuck? Some of you just don't understand how nobody wants to see a soul miss out on like, for example, if you don't know what I'm talking about by all this is, have you guys ever felt immense joy come over you and it's kind of like a wave? You're like, where'd all this joy come from? And it's happening because you're overcoming an obstacle you came to Earth evolution to overcome. And then you start noticing, oh shit, I got the girl I wanted, I got the job I wanted. That's why the joy is here. and you link it to that, but it's actually deeper than that. Has nothing really to do with the job or the girl. It's something a lot more inward. And by inward, a lot of you guys think I'm like trying to sound like some fucking poet and shit. By inward, I mean if you see Andrew Tate shed a tear, you don't say his eyelid is watery. You don't point to the external of his face. You don't look at the outside and describe it. You don't even talk about the liquid, the tear. You don't talk about anything on the outside. You immediately perceive the inward. And you say, Andrew Tate is sad. Notice how we don't describe the outside of what's happening. We go right to the inward. Now think about your whole life, especially you guys who, I got some of my boys been meditating 7 years, some of them 7 weeks. And there's such a fucking difference. There's such a fucking difference. Some of these guys, most of these guys didn't even come up with me. They're older guys. They've already lived life. They've had other people, other mentors. We're around the same groups. But they never, even with all this training, they never understood the inner and the outer difference. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, you fucking trained by so and so. Oh, there's no human actually putting this kind of terminology on the internet. So you don't know what's going on ever. You don't understand how the world works. You don't understand what happens when you sleep and what you prepare for. You don't understand none of this. All you understand is as much as the chat understands, and the chat is unconscious and very poor if you look at the statistics, right? Which is funny because the chat laughs at the rich guy. Like everyone's laughing at Andrew Tate right now, but it's actually very different scenarios. He has a great life, the chat has a horrible life. That's how it works. But yeah, we have to start looking the world of like what is in Andrew Tate's inward world and what can that teach us for our inward world, right? Our inner world is important to us. We don't give a fuck about the external, dude. Matter of fact, the external is being pushed out from the internal. How about that? And so I'm going to open up the floor and let a couple of people speak. But yeah, I just want to re-emphasize that you can be off your rhythm. It's very easy to be off your rhythm for a couple years, and you don't know until Chase Demore is fucking you up. Let's start with IV. Speak now or forever hold your pussy. Okay.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna say like, Andrew Tate is only free because he unplugged the judge's keyboard and typed up the
I forgot
response
about that
himself.
joke. That joke is so. You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, I'll tell you this, man. I forgot about that joke because it was true what I said. Nobody realized. Everyone thought I was making a joke, but it was true. That was their job. That is wild, dude. Like that is. Anyways, all right. Go ahead, Ivy.
Barty, you can go ahead. I'm sending you a text.
Yeah.
No,
Thanks.
I mean, I almost lost a lot of money on that fight, and just the way the universe was working.
What do you mean by that?
I was gonna put a lot of money on that fight. I messaged like two different people to put 100,000 on it for me,
Really?
and one declined. One Snap called me and then pulled out last second, and then I was like, maybe this is just not meant to be, and I decided to lay off of it. And I even said, some guy I knew that's like a mush. You know what a mush is? You ever heard of what a mush is?
Yeah.
When he bets, he loses, and he
Yeah.
says, if I bet Tate, I'm gonna be poor. Like when I he said if Tate loses, I'm gonna be poor, and I was like, okay, definitely laying off. And then the price, I'm very price sensitive, so it was like minus 400, and then I think it got all the way in the 700s, And I just was like, yeah, the value's gone, and I laid off. And it was like, I honestly probably would have jumped off the bridge.
Damn. How
Yeah,
much?
I was gonna put a lot, bro.
Damn.
That's what I was gonna say. But it was kind of a sad day. I thought for sure a world champion kickboxer would have schooled the kid, but I get that guy was tough, and it was a sad day to see that. Honestly,
Was he tough?
I mean, he was sauced out of his mind. What do you think he was on? He had to be on a triple stack, no?
Yeah. Yeah. I
He,
mean,
I mean, he had to
but
be
did
on
he
a.
did he look like what if Tate actually got him with some? Would he have been wouldn't he have been kind of wouldn't
I
he
mean,
have backed off a bit?
Tate. I think I was wondering if Tate broke his hand. Did you see he stopped throwing the right hand?
Bro, all I saw was this is not his sport. It didn't look like his sport at all. Looked like he looked like a golfer in there, you know, and it just it's like motivating almost. Like, dude, I can make a shit ton of money if these old guys are gonna keep coming back down to fight influencers and shit and do all this. This is like fucking. This is like an easy money path and stuff.
And
What the fuck?
Anderson Silva knocked out at 50 years old, knocked out Tyrone Woodley cold
Dude,
in the second round.
that broke my heart because I'm such a huge Woodley fan, and because I think he's just a good guy. I know he's like a BLM kind of left wing kind of guy, but still. All right,
Anderson
let's
Silva
bring
was on
in
the
the big
Brazilian sauce. Did you see him at the weigh-in? He was on a stack.
yeah. El Kakui, bro, this is crazy.
It was God looked out for me big time. God looked out for me big time. I would have been pretty fucked up. I just thought no chance. No, like you would never think
Bro,
because you're a brand. Like would you from a brand standpoint, Zerka, right? From business standpoint, Tate cannot lose that fight, bro.
yeah, I'll say this, man. It seems he's like a delusional kind of guy because it's not just Chase that could do that much damage. It's any man that's slightly aggressive and athletic. That's what it feels like. And maybe you could say it's the aging thing, but I just want to protect you for the future, dude. You didn't miss out on shit.
I
I
think
You didn't miss out on shit because let me tell you this. You said you were about to bet a lot of money, and you lucked out that you
crippling.
didn't.
If I would have, yeah, I lucked
I,
out that I
I'll
didn't.
tell you this. That spirit that is coming after your life savings is has not left your auric field, your aura. It's gonna keep coming back until you fuck up and lose everything. That's what gambling is. That's
I
what
mean,
gambling is
Zerka, you've
playing
heard
with.
the stories
No,
about
no, listen, bro.
Albanians.
Gambling is playing with spirits. You're playing with spirits. You should have a fucking. You should have something you do that makes you money. You shouldn't just rely on fucking gambling, dude.
I agree. I run. You know how Albanians we run pizza shops. So I agree. I run a pizza shop, dude. No joke. I
I
do.
love that. It's like every fucking stereotype has to be true.
It's Zerka. You know we're the kings of the fucking pizza game right
I
now.
don't want to see you lose your money, bro. Don't start betting on these bald guys, bro. What the fuck?
No, I would have lost big time. I think you know what's crazy? I said everybody to put the money on you when you beat up that black guy. There's Zach. What was his
You
name?
probably shouldn't have because I was fucking high off my tree.
But
I
you
was on,
won. You won that one.
yo, bro. I was on
You
diet.
won though,
No,
Zerka. You
excuse
should.
me.
I
I
was
was on.
surprised. You almost lost.
Bro, I'll tell you, that's the worst performance in history and easiest money I've ever fucking made. And I went back, I made a tweet about this. That was one of the funniest days of my life because not only did I dislocate my shoulder because of all the ketamine and all this fucking shit I was on, but man, I said, I'm gonna have 1 year where I go all out partying, just go fucking hard.
Were you high?
Bro, I
Don't
was
do it. Don't do it.
just always zoom in my face when you watch this stuff, and you're gonna be shocked. I had the most fucked up YouTube career you could have. I maximized it money wise. I did everything I was supposed to do, but in such a blur, in such a hazy way. Because I'll tell you this, man. 2026, I'm gonna give you guys so much content. I feel so bad that I always half-assed shit. I feel so bad
I
that I
miss your content
I'm
for
telling
real.
you,
I do. I miss your content
the
for
one
sure.
thing I've always felt bad about is I've never been connected to my audience. I've always been distant from them. I've always been blurry. I've always been somewhere like that they're not a part of. And as much information as I give to my audience and try and benefit them, it just feels like I hated doing YouTube, because I'm really a kind of guy who will party moderately, as an adult. I To party that much really means you hate your job, and I'll tell you this, YouTube was really corny. I remember thinking, I'm like, the only way this shit's not corny is if we had some drugs, because then fights pop off, then stupid shit starts happening, then my caveman gets fed. But I still remember thinking, like, there's something I hate about influencing. There's something about that world which sucks because I'm good at it, but there's something I fucking hate about that. And it's like, have you seen Rampage Jackson? He makes a lot of money doing the influencing shit right now, but there's something about like a 45-year-old guy or an older guy doing influencing. It just feels off. Does anyone else get that feeling?
Is it because it feels demonic? Is that why you say that?
Well, it's more like corny circus, like in a weird. And I love jester maxing. I love jokes and all that, but in a weird way, it's like if you guys were in my shoes, most you guys in my shoes would actually close the door with the hose. You would just, take the hose, close the door, lock the key, stay, tell the audience they gotta, stay away from you, and that's it. And you guys wouldn't judge me that hard because you guys would be like, yeah, you gotta hang out with Sneeko and hang out with fucking faggots all day. Like, come on, man, that's not my life. All right, let's get some more speakers in here. Let's focus on the fights, guys.
Did,
I actually made money betting
Who do you
against
think?
Tate. So
Yo, who do you think?
What the fuck? All right. Who else? Why would you bet against Tate? He's a world champion. What the fuck?
dude, age is age is age. Dude,
Yeah.
Tate's 39. And I'll tell you this because I've unfortunately experienced this. Once you sleep in a penthouse, once you like enjoy a nice car, dude, you get soft, bro. Once you get
True.
into a certain lifestyle, you just get soft as fuck.
True.
Uh,
Drained,
so
drained as well. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And I remember Tate making fun of Brian Johnson, and he said, "The day an old fighter beats a young fighter is the day I'll believe your anti-aging thing." And I'm like, damn, that's a real thing. Like, you don't want. It's a big difference when the young blood is on juice. He's on steroids, Chase Moore or whatever his name is, and
Yep.
you don't want to be in front of that when someone's like riled up and everything is like all the water in his body is going right to the muscles. Everything is like decadurablin, explosive and shit. And your technique and stamina, and who gives a fuck about all that? It's still a big dude hitting you, right? So I'm just surprised how good that made Chase look. Like up until a few weeks ago, I didn't even know who Chase was, to be honest.
Oh yeah, likewise. None of us did. You know what I feel bad for? How many third worlders put their money on Andrew Tate with their last 7 fucking rupees?
Oh
that's very
shit! I
true.
forgot
That's
about
very
that.
true.
Yeah,
I'd be
Oh,
very
that's where the hate's gonna come from.
I'd be very curious because they were very skeptical about promoting the whole gambling thing, and then you see Tristan promoting it and all this type of stuff, and they were all so certain that he was going to win, and Tate has been there for so many people for so long. He's been a really like poignant person throughout many people's lives, and now he was like, "Here's some free money as well." It's like Daddy Coin all over again.
Yeah, Tate's investing record has been pretty shit. Eh? Like having his audience make money, whether it's Daddy Coin or every time he told people to buy Bitcoin, it's like when Bitcoin is at the peak. Not he's really good motivational speaker, not a great investor. At least out to the public.
And I think another thing as well that really turned this fight is 24 hours before it all went down, the UK actually sent an indictment to Dubai for Andrew Tate's arrest. So I'm sure that he was feeling a lot of pressure from that as well.
What?
Yes, yes, they did. It was an indictment on Tate.
How many things?
They should indict him for his poor fighting.
Yeah,
How many?
but
How many Brits do you think lost money on that fight?
A considerable
Oh man.
amount. A considerable
You know,
amount
I
for
was
sure.
thinking I had a tweet where I said, because I have a lot of buddies who are fighters, and I feel bad for them because they get so excited when they see me. They think it's like a world that they can enter. It's so sad to think like, yo, you guys put your heart, blood, sweat, tears into this, and a lot of them do it in like charity matches, and they broke their whole lives. It's a horrific. Like think of all the broke days Andrew Tate had as a fighter. All that went up to Chase Demure, who didn't have those days. He's probably like some influencer guy, right? He probably doesn't come from the same lifestyle, and you just see with like a bit of hard work that everything, the shoe just switched. The shoe just switched, bro. What the fuck is going on?
That's life. It's always
You
something better, faster, stronger,
Well, I think
slower, less structured.
it's a major lesson. It's a major lesson for everybody. Putting your faith in somebody else, putting your faith in another man, for anything. I think you can just kind of see it
I think
there.
the word's idolization, right? Like, don't you can respect someone, but when you put them on a pedestal and idolize them, you're just asking to be disappointed, no matter who it is.
You know,
100%.
there's something about Andrew Tate that's so cool though, because you know, you compare him to most influencers like Logan Paul, Jake, and how many of these guys gave us their like most liberal takes and shit. There's something different about the Tate bros where when they came on the scene, it was like, hey, this is how humans have to evolve. You know, they weren't simpy, they weren't crying at weddings, they
Yeah,
weren't
they
doing
were the first based
yeah,
base
it
guys.
was like it hurts to see them lose in a weird way because feels like the whole world was waiting for the red pill to get fucking torched like that.
Yeah. Who do you guys think would win, Logan Paul or Andrew Tate?
I would think Logan would kill him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
100%.
I think Jake would have done even
Yeah, me
worse
too.
than him. Like father time is no joke, but I don't know because
Logan Paul is, I don't know.
father.
I wonder if
I'll
that's
say
what
this,
they're
man.
setting it up for.
It's not father time. All right, aging. We're not talking about 40-year-old being old, but in front of a young, hungry, steroided up young man
Logan
like
Paul.
Chase, oh, it's a big difference.
I feel like Logan Paul would sue him if he got into in the ring with him.
Dude, Logan Paul should just sell Prime right now, dude. Like, that's peak.
Dude,
Call it a day.
we don't have. There's no influencers left, bro. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to watch? I can't believe they got me after many years. They finally got me to watch some of this shit. I missed the Tate one. I saw the clips, but I watched the Anthony Joshua one, and it was kind of entertaining, right?
Yeah, there's only so many times I could rewatch you on Fresh and Fit, man.
Very
That was
true.
peak. That was the peak. Can we all admit that
Yeah.
was the best content ever?
Yeah. Red Pill peaking on YouTube. Tate was in prison. That was the peak. And then you guys said I have to hang out with Sneeko, and I said fuck you guys and disappeared. It's like what the fuck is going on with the red pill, bro? Like I thought we're evolving, and Sneeko just got more blue and more blue. And by the way, every chance I have to shit on Sneeko, I will shit on him. I am a genuine hater. Don't even know what it is. I know if I saw him in person, I'd go back to being his friend because he's like a fucking harmless little liberal fucking faggot. But there's something about. Have you seen how much his clips channels posts clips, random clips that have nothing to do with anything? Have you seen how much they like try and promote Sneeko on the feed? And since we're friends with Sneeko, we have to watch that shit. Like, come on, bro. And do you see his clips channel? Obviously, with Sneeko's permission, he posted 1 year ago. Tate said this about Sneeko, and now this happened. Like, shut the fuck up. You wouldn't. Sneeko would never say that in front of Tate's face. Like, stop the fucking cap, bro.
Yeah, I seen a clip of people saying Sneeko would whoop Andrew Tate's ass. Now I don't know if that would be the case.
What is
Dude,
going on?
Sneako's like 90 pounds. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
All right. What else happened? Anything else? I guess we should show some love to Tony Ferguson
that was a
and
good fight.
Anderson Silva with that hat trick. That was so fucking funny. And Tyron Woodley. Yeah, something's really off with that guy because, bro, he used to be the scariest fucking welterweight ever.
But boxing is just a different sport. Like it's just a whole different ball game, though.
Yeah, like 100%.
You know,
Like,
I think another mad thing as well about the whole fight is that Mams Taylor, he had a whole plan for Tate. Straight after Tate, he was going to have Tate versus someone else. Like he gave out Misfits gave
mm,
Tate ten
mm,
percent. They gave him
yeah.
10%. They said Tristan said it was valued at 520 million, and they were like, "Well, we're going to win. Give us 10%, and we can do a whole arc." It's like negotiation tactics, right?
I forgot about that. I forgot about them. Right. We're never gonna
Zerka,
see Misfits again.
Zerka, if you was in Jake Paul's position, would you have took that Anthony Joshua fight, or would you just keep doing what he was doing and just fighting like UFC fighters and old people, or what would be
I'm
your
not gonna. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Money is what is it?
right,
92 million dollars. I don't
right,
think anyone's saying no to that. Um,
the
but
aura?
I do think, in a weird way, this is the first time I said I really don't give a fuck what happens in Jake's career anymore. It's kind of over. It ended. Whatever he was trying to do, I know it sounds cruel to say to the guy, but whatever Jake is trying to do with his boxing thing, it ended right there. It it ended with Anthony. Anyone he
Yeah.
fights, nobody gives a fuck. Like anyone else feel like that?
I felt like that
Yeah.
He's
happened
gonna have to
when
fight McGregor now, right? It's all show
Oh, I want to see
fighting.
that.
nah.
Yeah. What is this? Like we just wait till everyone gets old and
I felt like it
Yeah,
died when
yeah.
he lost to
Jay,
it's a
Tommy.
pony show now.
Bro, JW, you're the weirdest guy ever. You talk for 3 hours on my spaces, but the day we're talking about all of this and I invite you, you don't come on. Like, what the fuck is
Maybe he's
wrong with
got.
He
you?
probably lost a lot of money
He,
betting on Tate.
he's
Yeah,
so
There's
mad at
no
you.
way. There's
he's in
no.
the doghouse.
Why? Did he say that? Damn. I hope not. I hope none of you lost money because I'm gonna send you guys a post on the esoteric hidden meaning behind what's happening when you guys gamble, and it's gonna shock you guys. Like a lot of you guys are gonna, be
Have you never
terrified.
invested in like the stock market or crypto market, Zerker? You was just never.
I'll say this, man. I don't mind if you gamble. I don't mind if you trade, but I do mind if it is your life.
Yeah,
That's,
facts.
dude. Life. Jesus Christ is called the life. Like think about that. It
Amen.
cannot be your life.
Gotta
All
be
right, I'm
like.
gonna go for. I've got a big fucking turkey dinner right now, so let's just wrap this up. JW, do you want to say anything? Because I feel like this is your totally up your alley.
He's still butthurt.
How do you feel about Jews? Is the real question, Zerka.
Man, ever since things, I've always been this guy that if things go mainstream, I don't talk about it anymore. So I don't
Oh, you
care.
trying to?
If anything goes mainstream, it always feels like I don't want to talk about it anymore. Anything. It's like if I hide a woman from the world and then I make a YouTube video with her. As soon as the whole world knows her,
Yeah, it's
I don't
over.
like her anymore.
I saw that during one of the face-offs with Anthony Joshua. I saw Jake talking about how he's a Christian and Jesus is God and all of this type of stuff. And a couple of months ago, a couple of like years ago, he's saying like he's Jewish and this and that. I think there's a little bit of noticing there as well, in regards to that as well. You can look
What's
into
up,
that.
big dog? How you doing?
JW, bro, I saw you commented on
No, I'm
Tyson
listening. I
Osprey.
got a
Hey,
bet right
read your
now.
comment. Read
I
your
got I
comment.
got a
It was
bet on
funny
this
as hell.
Oregon game, but just in regards to the Paul and Tate fight, man, it was a cardio thing to me. Which it's not really a conditioning problem; it's a contingency problem, like you said. There's no coming back from this from Tate's side or Jake Paul's side. These motherfuckers talk about, especially Tate, about doing difficult things and being wholeheartedly sacrificial. And I never
Here it
saw one
goes.
clip of the motherfucker doing street work, running miles on the street. He's on the treadmill looking zesty as fuck, running at like 3 miles an hour. I
That's
didn't
so
see him on the
true.
street. These dudes look like old men. Jake Paul looked terrible. He was falling on his own feet in the second round. It was
Steroids.
pathetic. Now, when I talk about contingency, it's just the understanding that a lot of shit's on at risk. You might fuck around and lose your career. You might lose this lucrative ability to make 10, 15 million on boxing events for Jake Paul. Andrew Tate with the War Room and all this this fucking aura that he's built up over the years. All that shit's gone now. You can't come in and look that zesty and pathetic and fucking uncourageous and expect to bounce back. You know, like you said, you addressed Tyson Hockley's comments. Like I said, Tate's brand is forever tarnished, and I think the same with Jake Paul. You know, people saying he looked good, he's courageous, this and that. He looked like dog shit. Now, I heard what you were saying about Anthony Joshua, you know, taking it easy on him the first 4 or 5 rounds to run the fucking streams up and get the viewership peaked out so they could all make more money. And then obviously in the 5th round, he really went hard. But Jake Paul was falling on his own feet in the 2nd round. If you really are about that life and this is your everything and you're not virtue signaling, meaning self-serving, these dudes are trying to get a bag. And that's it. I suspect Tate's having financial problems to even take this fight. Yes, he's got all these fucking court cases still looming. The lover boy method shit, all that shit's still looming. I don't think he's a billionaire. I don't think he's making solid investments. He lives a hedonistic lifestyle. He doesn't practice what he preaches. He comes off like he's one of these type of people that are connected to the eternal, to the infinite characteristics of life, the shit that'll never change, like doing difficult things. When Tate was young, aside from the pimping shit. Now, in regards to what he was doing with like his pimp and hoes degree, if you're forthright and you're honest and you tell a girl, hey, come to Romania. I have a lit cam service. I'll put you on cam. If you want to make money and we're going to split the profits 50-50, I can provide these services, this and that, and it's mutually beneficial. There's something honorable about that, but that's not what he was doing. This dude was tricking off money in the clubs in foreign countries, convincing bitches that he was going to wife them, take them shopping. He's talking about throwing them the black card. See, I don't fuck with simps and tricks, you know. And this dude was a lover boy, would get girls alienated, and then I mean, all of this has been exposed. Now I do fuck with Tate, and this shit is heartbreaking to see him look like a real faggot out there tonight. Cause this dude Chase Demore's a faggot too. This dude's a motherfucking like Love Island, a Love Island type of guy. Now he's got a decent right hand. He threw that uppercut. He's a big guy. He may be sauced out, whatever it is. But Tate should have had no problems. And in all reality, if Jake Paul was really living that life and was really as virtuous and self-sacrificial as he's been projecting to the public, he might have been able to drop that motherfucker Anthony Joshua. I'm talking about contingency on what's at risk to lose. This motherfucker might have really had like a title fight opportunity if he came in, because I don't know. Joshua hadn't been in the ring in a long time. He does have a glass jaw. Jake was close a couple times early with 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 his haymaker, with his right hand. Like you said earlier, motherfucker didn't look like he had any pop on it. But the thing that was very noticeable from both of them, which was all about just respect for self and respect for the game and dignity, was the cardio. There's no reason you come into that fight now. You see Jake Paul before the fight, he looked like shit. His face is bloated. He looks absolutely terrible. Not a single striation on his body. He looks fucking completely untrained. He looked terrible. He makes a
Jewish.
mimic of this shit. But for him to gas out like that, and then Tate too. These dudes spent more time on their knees than actually in position to do any
Dude,
type of damage.
you're cracking me up.
I mean, it was despicable. I'll fuck with you, Zherka. But shit, me and you might be the only motherfucking event that might do numbers and give the people something to see. You know
Let's
it's get
go.
down or lay down. If me and you don't
Aren't
get
you like
touch, huh?
aren't you like how long you've been training since 6 years old?
No, I mean I was a college football player. I'm a world class athlete. I do train every day. You're the type. I respect you, bro. I respect you a lot. I saw that video you pressing the dude with his girlfriend there, saying let's run the fade on camera. You pulled up,
Yo,
even though you didn't
JW,
look good. And the thing
they
about you is you take accountability. You, the
no, I
drugs and all
don't.
that
I know
shit,
I
the
don't.
hedonistic
I could
shit.
knock I can literally beat Anthony Joshua. I don't think I don't take
That's
no
crazy.
I
accountability.
mean, I
Yo,
stay ready. I take a lot of
JW,
pride
I
in
want you to
aesthetics.
train me. I want you to train me for Anthony Joshua.
Would you
I
fight
mean, if you
HF
if you
again,
come to
Zerka?
Vegas, we'll get a lot of shit done. The
Now
content
hold
will be
on.
out of control. Definitely
JW,
get your hands right.
stay
I
on.
train with the best trainer in the world, Bullet, over at Floyd Mayweather's gym. So I'll have you in Floyd Mayweather's gym, training with Bullet, the best trainer in the world.
Yeah.
You'll
Yo,
you'll
But
you'll
but
go
Zerka,
you
crazy.
gotta
Zerka.
tell him that I fight for the N word pass. Like the N word. Yo, JW, stay on topic, bro. Talk only about Tate.
About
Zerka,
what?
I
Zherka,
debated
I have
your
a
boy
question.
I mean, the
Hazaldin,
Guys,
by
shit
the
with
guys,
way.
Tate, like I
guys,
said,
he's doing good.
Tate's
He's
got
doing
a
good.
lot of
Let him.
motherfucking problems. You know, this lover boy method shit, that shit's a problem for him, what he did. Because he exposed himself. He had the pimp and hose degree. He had the Discord where he was literally snitching on himself. He had the bitch alienated from her family in a foreign country, tricked her into thinking he
Yo,
was gonna wife her.
I thought you were gonna talk.
And then he
I thought
has
you were
the
gonna
fucking
tell us about.
assistant. He
I
has
thought
his assistant
JW,
Regina
Hey,
bro.
come
game is
in.
game,
I
JW.
thought I
Game is
thought you were gonna
game.
talk about the boxing match.
I mean, it's boxing. There was nothing to see. It was fucking two non-athletes. The shit was despicable. What are we talking about? It was heartbreaking to see. I'm coming back from the casino and I cut it on. Didn't even know the fight was on, and I saw the later rounds where Tate was just. I mean, it was you. We all saw what happened. There ain't no coming back from this. Tate's an incredible orator, similar to fucking Nick Fuentes.
JW, what do
But at
you
some
think?
point, their lifestyles have to be taken into account. Zerka, what do you think about your boy being exposed for meeting Glenn Greenwald in the gay club?
Man, come on, you believe that shit? Like
No,
JW,
no, it's a fact.
no,
We need
you
to get
JW. That's like
me,
that's your shit.
you, and fucking Nick Fuentes need to lock in. We need to get Nick in the gym. We need to get him a solid.
JW, hold on, let me mute you for a sec. If I saw you in Vegas outside of a gay nightclub,
You would
I would,
never.
I would,
You would
no, no,
never.
no. You,
God would never
what are you
accept me and
fucking
give me His
talking about?
grace.
What are you talking? If in Vegas you have to walk by it when you're going to CVS,
No, he was in the gay club.
inside of it,
He was in the gay club. Glenn Greenwald, who's a gay journalist, had Nick on. He was like, I didn't want to put you on blast, but since you've already spoken on it, why don't you tell everyone this
stop.
isn't our first time meeting? There's a clip of it.
I saw the clip, but I think you're
And
blowing
they
it out of
they they
proportion.
met in the gay club. And
Bro,
JW,
JW,
bro,
there's a
Glenn
zero
Greenwald,
percent
you
pro.
meet him anywhere.
I don't care if
You meet
like
Glenn Greenwald anywhere, bro.
right?
I
J-
don't give a first of all, I've never had a gay friend in my life. I don't know anyone that I grew up with that was gay. You Gen Z
right.
millennial lost the Gen Z lost boys are a different breed. I'm a millennial. I didn't know one gay person growing up.
Come on, bro. You got to be a friend to yourself, bro. At least
Hey
be
J-
a friend to
JW, I
yourself.
have a question for you.
Go ahead. And I
I
love
know
everyone
I know
in
you
here. All my
co-produced
brothers, all my sisters. We got to come together. I love
I
you,
know you
Zerka.
co-produced for many rappers, and you were kind of in that scene for a while. Can you
Mhm.
tell us about them and if they were
Oh, the whole
quote unquote
music
as
game is
gay,
nothing but faggotry. I'm
like
an
Lil Uzi
outsider
Vert?
looking in.
all right.
what is this, man?
Where does Tate go after this? Like we're all saying his career's
Yo,
I
over.
would
Zerka,
say
Where
Zerka.
Tate
does he
needs to
go
go ahead
after this?
and just like I was watching the
Wait,
fight.
real quick,
I was
Zerka.
watching
I've
the fight with
debated
my girl. Hold on.
Zerka today. I
I was
debated your
watching the
boy.
Jake Paul fight with my girl, and I told her, I said, what he's gonna do is he's gonna say that because he was a heavyweight, his cardio wasn't right. He's gonna go back down to cruiserweight, and he's gonna look better so he could continue to perpetuate the scam that he's a quality fighter.
I wonder if they're setting up a Tate versus Paul.
No one's gonna watch that shit. It's over.
I don't know.
It's
I think
over.
that could. I think that would do
More
Man,
numbers, bro. More numbers.
if I ever
That would
catch
do numbers.
Logan Paul in real life, I'm gonna press him.
I
And
think it would
leave it
be
But you
at
More
Jake
that.
wouldn't.
numbers.
Paul
You wouldn't do
I'll
versus.
that.
do Logan Paul so dirty, so easy and effortlessly.
What the fuck? Yo, Zerka. This morning, guess what? I debated your boy Hazaldin.
On
I
what?
destroyed him,
Now,
bro.
Zerka, we gotta band up out in Miami and start pressing everything on camera. Gary got shit locked down.
Oh
Yeah,
my
but
god, he
JW,
just talked.
that's how you get shot, bro. Someone's gonna pull a gun
No,
on
I
you.
got all the Zopound killers out there that'll be with us. I got all the gangsters, bro, city to city.
Right.
Wait, JW, do you press people on your live streams?
I'm going to. I was just
So
on the
you
phone last night with the CEO Brian from Party. Got the exclusive streaming deal front page.
that
So
would be funny if JW you put a GoPro on your head.
I mean, what do you believe about the enemy year, Zerka? You believe in that?
Fuck the enemy year. Stop talking to me about that shit.
You were big on numerology when Gary was
But
your
yeah,
manager.
That numerology shit gay.
except when I did it, I'm gonna post the clips of me doing it. It's everyone laughing at Gary. When I'm doing it, it's actually funny.
I believe if there's anything valid about numerology, it could be the enemy year shit. Take a look
That
at
shit.
Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, a pig in his snake enemy year,
Yeah,
just
okay,
literally might not ever play again. This dude
we're
just had the
done.
worst year
Bro,
of
that
his
shit is
Yo,
just
we
fucking.
like
got come
horoscopes.
on. This
I
is
know
Always
it's a
end up on
coincidence.
numerology.
It is the only reason I bring it up is because Gary said he's about to put me on all the podcasts. I'm gonna make my rounds. I'm gonna be in Miami. He's got a
You
lot of shit
believe Gary?
motion. He says as soon as my enemy is over, which is February 16th.
Wish the
So
best
we're
for
gonna
you.
be out Miami, turned up, me and you, Zerka.
J,
Our content together, me and you, historic.
you, you know, in a weird way, JW, you're not a bad guy.
I'm
You
the
know, you're
listen.
not a bad
I make no mistakes. There's no room for error at the top, close to God. Any errors are maximally punished at the top. Don't you understand? There's no
guy.
geometric
JW,
space at the top of the pyramid. There's
you
no
remind
room
me
for
of
errors.
you remind me of cokeheads. You know, like
Never
infinite
in my
energy.
life. And that's what I want to get around and mentor you and get you completely sober, bro.
I
Bro,
know.
I
That's
put this on
Damn.
my
scary.
daughter.
You gotta stop
He's
sunning
sober.
I
Shit.
swear
people.
to God,
Bro.
I've never. I mean, I used to smoke weed because I'm a music producer, and I believed it enhanced my creativity. I do a lot of research. I research 6 to 7, 8 hours a day, so I might go 90 minutes,
Bro, do
two
you take
hours of
Adderall,
research,
bro? Do you take
smoke
Adderall?
one, and
Boy,
get back to research. But my
that boy
girl
was
hates the
yapping.
smell of it. She's a professional singer, so I stopped smoking
Do
cold
you
turkey
beat
for
on
her.
her?
I don't drink, huh?
You don't hit women?
Do you ever beat on her?
No, I mean I beat her guts up.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Okay.
What
We'll
are you
wrap it
talking
up.
about beating on
Hey
her?
Zerka, I have a
We'll
question
Really?
wrap
about
it up.
Wait a
Tate.
minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah. What's
that.
up?
You know what? Claire's Kid's
Uh,
right here, and she got a word for you. Say hi to Zerka.
Hello, this is 3 out of 10. Coming at
Three
you
out of
Hey,
hot.
10.
listen. When I
Let
called
me
you a
tell you,
three,
I've only upgraded.
let me tell you this. When I called you a 3 out of 10, it's only to get under JW's skin. I don't even know what you. I
I
don't even know
know,
what
but
you
she's a
look like,
real one,
bro.
bro. She's not
But
fragile. That's the nature of being a human being. We are
but
built
Jay,
to take
Jay,
negative feedback and
Jay, you gotta
perturbations and
remind
get
me.
stronger. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, bro.
But you
yo,
She
am
ain't
I
gotta,
no
able to ask a
fragile
Jay,
bitch.
question?
Jay, you gotta remind me
She
why
got
I
way
did.
thicker. She got
Jay, you
breast
gotta,
enhancements.
you gotta shut the fuck up and remind me why. You gotta remind me why we didn't like you in the beginning. What did you do?
Wasn't he
No,
beefing with that guy on his
no,
face?
you didn't like me because I was going at Myron.
No, because
Oh,
you're motor
what?
mouth,
What? You're
bro.
not cool
You're
with.
Oh
motor
shit.
mouth.
So
Oh,
you be you say he
Zerka,
be
I
Yes,
have a
I
yapping?
talk
question
a lot.
about
What the
Tate.
fuck do you think I'm gonna do on a space and on
JW
the
be
internet?
yapping?
that's true. It's like you gotta beef people or else it gets
No, this
boring.
is what you beta male motherfuckers want to do: suppress the strengths of apex predators. I'm the most
Yeah.
aggressive. I'm the most
Right.
violent.
Bro,
So
He's
people
right.
say,
He's
bro,
right.
"JW,
Right.
you're
I
too
fill in
He's
dead
aggressive.
right.
space, bro.
JW, you're too
I fill in
violent.
dead space
JW, you
all the
make too
time,
many
bro.
threats.
I
JW,
fill in
you need
dead
to
space
shrink
all the
yourself down to
time. I
fit
make sure
in."
there's always someone talking. But you literally go deaf when you start speaking, bro. You turn into fucking Helen Keller, dog.
Why would I
I'd
sit?
make her a
Why
single
would I
mom.
listen? I'm him. I'm here to
Oh
impact the masses. I'm
brother.
here to share information. I'm not here to
Bro, you
listen to
look like a Puerto
incels.
Rican from the Bronx, bro.
You are an incel, LV. Say something meaningful for the audience right now.
I'm an incel, bro. I'm 10 times better looking than you. I
You are
mobbed your
not,
Oh
bro. I
shit, you
swear to
shit.
bitch.
God, your mother would literally take a knee for me.
Bro,
Yo, what the
your
fuck?
face will
I
turn
would need
beet
your
Okay,
mother
red
all
if you
take a
right,
saw my
knee,
all right,
fucking.
all right.
Your face will
like I'm
turn beet
coaching her
red if
All
in
right,
the
you
this is
saw
locker
getting a
my
bit
room.
gay.
fucking
I'll
This is
tell
Welcome
the
getting a
to
bitch
little
to
bit
Miami.
take
gay
a
Welcome to
now.
knee, like I'm
Miami.
her
This
coach
is
in a
getting a
locker
little bit
room.
Uh,
gay.
right.
Hey
Okay,
Zerka,
Tate.
I just have a question about
Jay,
Tate real quick.
let this guy speak. Yeah, yeah. What up?
When we look back at his origin story about him getting cucked by that girl and her sending the photo of her getting fucked, you had much to say about that. What do you think
Who?
was the Andrew Tate, his origin story?
Oh, I thought that was Sneeko.
Yeah,
No, no, that was Tate.
yeah. That Tate, Tate,
What do you think the
Tate.
right way was to go about that?
First of
If
all, a lot of people think you're lying right now. They think I'm lying too. But there's a clip of Tate talking about this girl who went. He was seeing her, and she went to a nightclub when he didn't want her to, and she hooked up with the dude. And right, someone find the clip and stuff.
Was she
All
a
I meant,
ballerina?
I don't remember, but all I meant to say is I'm pretty sure that happens with, especially if you're on clubbing hoes. That happens to most guys and stuff like that. And I want to know, has everyone here, be honest, had a cuck story that transformed them? Like you turn into a cuck and then you get transformed. Like some dude cucks you hard. Has every human gone through that, or are there?
dude. I
Look at these guys, thumbs down
dude,
me.
I
Like,
had a reverse experience. I
yeah, no,
was
yeah,
I
of course
started
you have the
talking to a
cooler
girl, bro.
experience.
She
Of
cucks
course
him
you
so
have the
hard. She goes,
cooler.
Zerka, never in my life have I had any type of experience like that. Never in my life.
What, Jay? What if I came and kidnapped your girl and she
Oh
liked
shit.
If you kidnapped her, it'd be death, bro. You die.
it?
You would
Make
die.
sure
You
make
would
sure
never
you're wearing
kidnap
your
me because I'm
GoPro.
not built like that, bro. I
No,
keep my
Cash
head on a
Patel's on the
swivel.
case, Zherka. Cash
No,
Patel's
Yeah,
on
I
the
Jay,
feel you,
on
Jay,
the
bro.
be
case.
honest though. And have you ever had a dude take someone you liked and you did 1,000 push-ups that day?
I mean, maybe like in the fourth or fifth grade, bro.
Yeah, way back.
Not as an adult.
Shit
Not
happens.
not
This
since high school.
guy,
Not even since
fourth or
like seventh,
fifth.
eighth grade.
Zerka, you want to tell us something?
I'm telling you right now, it's never happened to me, but I feel like it happened to all of you.
Yeah,
I
Zerka,
don't
you're what,
think
six
so.
five?
There's
You're a
some
good
Okay.
looking
shit.
6'5".
No,
I'm
bro, it's
6'4",
yo,
way better looking.
Oh,
I look like
you
Arnold
Jay.
Schwarzenegger
Oh,
right
you
now. They call me
actually
the
brother.
Terminator, bro. I'm
Jay,
Brother.
6'4", an
listen,
apex predator, and I'm the
Hey,
Jay,
smartest. And
Jay,
I have
let's
the
be
highest
real.
Jay,
ethical considerations.
Jay,
Jay,
Jay.
Man.
since my community's starting to like you, right? We think you're doing good on
These
these
are my
on these
brothers.
spaces. We got to be 1,000% honest with you. I don't think you should look forward to Gary being your manager.
No, I'll fuck with Gary.
A Jewish man?
You know, he's gonna put you on all these podcasts, huh?
100%. He had me on the phone with Brian, the CEO from Party last night. He's already making rounds for
Man,
me.
Brian, I don't know
You
how
know, he's
Brian, bro.
superstitious. I'm his enemy sign, and yet we still have a great synergy. He knows
Oh,
I'm
that's
him, bro.
horrible,
Right.
dude. You're his
First
yeah,
of all,
enemy.
I
no.
ran through him. Listen, I'm loyal.
JW.
Anybody that
You're
says
about to
anything
lose a
about
lot of.
Gary is getting their head split to the white meat.
Wait,
JW.
are
Oh
you
Okay.
pig
no.
gear?
I'm a pig, and Gary's a snake.
Fucking pig.
But
I'm
he's
a
a snake.
pig, boy.
Yo, stay the fuck
The
away
wild
from
thing
Gary
about the
by Gary's
numerology
own
shit,
rules.
George Orwell wrote the book Animal Farm, and the pig
Dude,
is the top sign of them all.
dude,
That's not
dude, dude.
about numerology.
Jay, you've
It's
been
based
smoking
on
too much.
numerology.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
leave, yeah, put the blunt down.
No,
Jay, you
I
gotta
don't
put
do
the
any
blunt.
drugs. I don't believe in numerology either. But I think Gary is a master networker. I think he's got a lot of courage to speak on things. I think he needs to
Bro,
constrain himself in ways.
He's also
He's a great
Jewish.
manager. He put
Yeah,
you
he's
on,
Jewish.
bro.
Yeah,
Show
he's
some
doing money.
respect. Now, I heard you talking about how you violated that man when he paid and put you in the 10-bedroom mansion in Miami. You had no respect for it. We got to be
JW.
better, bro.
Can I
what are
ask
you
you?
talking about? Gary works for me.
No, remember when you were talking about how he put
That
you in the
never
mansion
happened. You
and
you actually believe a snake? You're a
no,
pig.
no, you told the story.
Yo,
You were
JW, you
Yo,
violating it.
retarded,
come
bro.
on,
You
bro.
come up and just you
Jay,
trying to G check the host. Are you dumb, bro?
What are you
he's
talking
trying
about?
Like
to
what?
checking
Motherfucker,
shit,
I'm never gonna
homie.
shrink myself down to fit in. I'm him. Zerka's my young boy. I'm mentoring Zerka to pure greatness.
Right.
There's a
J
hierarchy here.
Go sit down
Yo,
and listeners. Go
Jay, we liked you
mentor him
until
from
we
listeners.
realized you're with Gary, bro.
No, it's colloquial. It's not official. Once shit gets official, and we start getting to the money, we'll see how it is. I told him he can always get 20% of whatever bag he brings me. I do everything the mob way off a handshake. We don't do contracts.
Hell,
Yo,
Fuck,
with a
man.
I
Jew? With a
Oh
Jew,
yeah, you're gonna
really?
get fucked.
Yeah, you're gonna end up
be
dead.
He's
careful of
not a
that.
Marxist Jew.
Yo, Zerka, do you have any advice for someone?
We only have
Why
issues
are
with
you saying
Marxist
that?
Jews, the intellect,
Bro,
the
Be careful, you
intelligentsia
Jewish
class
man.
of
told you
Jews.
he's not a
Zerker, would
Marxist.
you say he's a manager or a handler?
I would say Gary was a friend more than anything,
We
but
got Barty on stage, one of my
I'll
biggest
say this
fans.
though.
My little
I'll
bro
say
Barty
this.
on stage, Zerka. You brought
Gary's
him
The
up.
host is
Barty's
speaking.
one of
Shut
my
the fuck
biggest
up.
fans.
Shut the fuck
Gary's
up. The host is
bullshit is
speaking.
gonna be JW's bullshit. That's the
Barty,
only
Barty,
problem.
tell him what time it is.
JW, we've
Yo,
had some
Zerka,
great, meaningful
toss me co-host
conversations. I
real
will
quick,
say
bro.
that you're very
Yeah,
educated
hold on. We'll bring
in a
some
lot of
more
ways.
people
I
in
will say
because
Yeah,
that.
toss me co-host.
Barty, I'm
Zerka, when you
him.
would sit next
I
to
would say you're
Sneeko,
very
I'm
would your
him of
educated,
body
all
JW,
feel
in a
him's.
lot of ways.
comfortable?
bro, I Sneeko is just such bad energy to be around, bro.
Nico's an empty head,
We
bro.
got to check
His
Sneeko
head,
because
he's
he's a
like a
domestic
lizard.
terrorist.
It's like
All
limbic
domestic
system
What the
terrorism is
fuck
reacting to
getting
what the
is he
fucking
cat is
stomped
saying.
out
saying?
2026.
Who are you calling a domestic terrorist, bro?
Sneeko,
Why?
radical Islamization is one of the biggest problems. This is a
Man,
Christian
JW,
country.
statistically, that's a lie, JW.
No,
oh,
no,
that's
he's right.
true.
You
Not
It's
a
guys, you
true.
hear
It's
that? You
true.
No,
guys
It's
but
hear
wait,
true.
it?
this is
dude.
No,
the
no,
Andrew
guys,
Tate
guys,
effect as
he's
well
right. You
because
hear it?
the modern
Allahu Akbar,
interpretation of
Allahu
Christianity
Akbar,
has been feminized.
Allah.
This is Paul's effect, the apostle Paul's effect on feminizing the Old Testament. These weren't Jesus' teachings. Jesus was about life affirmation, not negation, not original sin and these type of concepts. You know, Christianity's been feminized. You look at a religion like Islam, it's masculine, it's conquering.
Yeah, bro,
Jihad is
your
all
parents
about
must
taking
have hated
over.
you, bro.
This
Your
is why
parents must have hated you. You probably talked their heads off.
Andrew Tate radicalized so many young men because it's a conquering masculine religion. We need to make Christianity masculine again. It
Yep.
ain't about the meek shall inherit the earth. Meek meaning
100.
passive. It's meek meaning dangerous and in control. And it'll take your motherfucking head off if you're on some domestic terrorist
All
shit.
right, I like DW.
I do agree. Christianity should be more masculine than
It ain't
what it is now. That is facts.
it
That
ain't
is
blessed
facts.
are those who are poor in spirit, as in poor, like literally poor, as in like inverting the virtue and vice. What Nietzsche calls the slave master morality, the herd morality. This is
I
the
think
poor.
Eastern
Blessed are
Orthodox
those
is the
who are poor in
masculine
spirit, meaning
religion
you have nothing if you
group
don't have a
for
connection
sure.
to God. You could have
All
all
right,
the
bro,
money in the
but
world, but
becoming
if you
more
don't have
Catholic, becoming
faith,
super Catholic leads to your mom not letting your girlfriend sleep in the same bed as you.
that's
So like
discipline.
that's
Right.
not masculine at
There's
all,
a
is it?
trade-off. You can't have ultimate well-being and ultimate freedom.
I
There
think
has
what
to be
one of
constraint.
one of the main things though is
When you get your own house and you can
right.
provide for the woman, that's when you get to sleep with her. When you're under the house of your parents and they're paying your bills, they call the shots.
Bro, she probably
Until
has 16 bodies already. She bugged out first semester in college, got passed around, and she
who?
hit the wall, bro.
Who?
What do you mean marry her
Doesn't
like when
matter.
you have
Doesn't matter.
no partners?
What do you
One
hold
of
Zerka,
I
the
would
didn't
you
hear what you
say
said. Go ahead, say that again, brother.
I
one of
said,
the
bro, there's no one with a zero body count anymore. You're marrying a hoe. What do you mean
I mean,
when
we
you
don't
can
have
provide
tribal
for a marriage?
settings anymore. Think about back in the day when we could vet in the dating process, where it was small tribal settings, where when you get married, a man has to be a quality individual in the community. You can't be scamming, you can't be cheating, can't be fucking running off on the plug and doing all types of shady shit. Because when it's time to get married, if someone says, no, I reject, that motherfucker's a scammer, you're not getting pussy. So in order to get
What
pussy,
the
you had to
fuck are
be a
you
good
saying,
man.
bro?
Are you understanding what I'm talking about? The vetting process of women maintaining their virginity until marriage. So a man, in order to get pussy, has to be a quality individual and be an upstanding citizen and have a good reputation.
Okay, so what's it like now?
Right now, because of what's called womanism, it's not feminism. They're not women aren't celebrating feminine characteristics like being gullible, being naive, being intuitive, being empathetic. They're
Facts.
one
celebrating masculine traits. They're trying to
one
up in the hierarchy and replace men because they've been
after
convinced by postmodernists that
right.
they don't have a fulfilling life through motherhood and through nurturing a man who's going out and providing. Men and
Bro, I
women
think
have.
you're idealizing women too much.
What
Like you
feminism
gotta
is
understand, bro, that women, bro,
LV, let me
women.
speak real quick. Okay. Look,
Why
one of the
would you
biggest
cut me off when I'm
what
dropping gems to say nothing at all? Go ahead and bless the audience.
one of the biggest things is after World War II, and we have feminism come in. The main issue with feminism is that they are basically saying they want the same equalities as men, and what they're doing is they're mirroring what their ideals of men are. So when
More
they say
specifically, what it is you can look at conservative feminism, which is accepting the differences between men and women and men taking on the responsibility to take care of their women, and liberal feminism, which is trying to minimize the difference between men and women, which is leading to
Bro, it's an
stagnation and a
act. They
lack of
don't actually
productivity.
accept it.
This is
They
why our
don't actually
economy is
accept
crashing
it,
out.
bro.
This is
I
why the
think
big
you're
tech
idealizing
overlords are
women.
having to
Let
hijack
me
our
say
minds
something, bro.
and nudge our consumption patterns because we're not making anything useful anymore. We don't have
wi-
strong men
women
that are
women are,
making useful
wi-
products for the market.
okay, strong men. Look, one thing I'll say about that is we've pushed so many things about birth control and this and that. One of the biggest holocausts, as you could say, is what's happening with women at the moment and abortion. So as much as we want to talk
Mhm.
about that as men,
Especially as
what
it pertains to declining fertility rates and inevitable population collapse globally.
a hundred, yeah, and what you're saying is yes, obviously we need to be better, but
It is a
also
cultural war.
100%. And
And it's taking men to
Bro,
step up and lead
bro,
women.
you're ideing women too much, bro. Women, your
Women,
wife is not
there's
even. Well, you're
nothing on this earth if there isn't the
listen.
form of a
Shut the fuck
woman.
up and listen.
There's
Your
nothing
wife
but
is not
big
even your
breasted,
family.
beautiful women. What is this world without big breasted, beautiful women? They don't just fall out
All
the
right,
sky.
bro. All right, bro. Let me finish the sentence. Let me finish the sentence, you psychopath. Your wife
Beauty is
isn't even your
everything.
Right.
family,
Beauty is
bro.
what
Your
minimizes
wife isn't even
resistance
your
to the
family,
difficult shit. If
dude.
Tate had a big breasted, beautiful woman in his life, he would have been doing cardio.
I'm sure he
Okay, can
does.
I
Nah,
finish
he
the
has
sentence now?
frail. Zerka pointed
Can I
it
finish
out.
the
He
sentence
got
now?
frail, beat down bitches in his corner.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Misfits, the Misfit ring girls weren't as attractive as the ones on MVP.
Sydney
Yeah,
Thomas,
Cause they're
she
black.
yeah.
came in
That's
looking real
real
nice.
spill. That's real
Cause they're
Sydney
black.
spill.
Thomas went viral off the ring girl shit. She had a chubby face. She got her face all the way right with cardio because she
Bro, you
wanted
have a
it.
chubby face.
Sydney Thomas.
You have a chubby face.
No, I don't. My face is
Yes, you
leaned out
do.
to the max,
It's
kid.
chubby. It's
No,
chubby.
my
He's an
Too
face
much
is
apex
estrogen,
lean.
bro. You need an
My jaw
astrozole.
hits.
You
My
need an
cheekbones
astrozole,
cut.
bro. You need
apex.
Look like a
AI.
water bug.
You need to
No,
hop
I'm
on an
I'm five
AI.
percent body fat, kid. What are you talking about? I'm
Too much
255 shredded.
estrogen, bro.
No, you're just fucking
No.
projecting because you're a fat little incel.
I'm a
And
fat little
I'm him.
incel.
and
I
these and
I'm.
promise
these
you, if we were all in
and
the club,
and these
Zerka might get
and
about
these
13%
I wouldn't
of
be
the
in the
attention.
club,
I'm getting
bro.
87%.
and
Anyway,
these
what I was
Man.
trying to say,
and
is your wife is not even your family, bro. Your family, if you out go decide to go out and do heroin, your family, your mom, your siblings, they go looking for you. Your wife, she leaves you.
No, that's cap. That's a
Your
terrible
wife is
wife.
not
that's
A
a
family.
real
terrible
That's a
wife.
woman
terrible
would be
wife.
the first out there looking, doing it, going through. Stop the
Dog
A real
shit.
bullshit.
woman, what I'm
You
saying, you're
sound like a
idealizing it.
faggot, bro.
Damn.
Are
She
you
came from
gay?
fucking
Are you a
Mars,
dick
bro.
sucker?
Yeah,
There's
She
Ivy's
nothing
came
in
gay.
from
this
Mars.
world other than a man and a woman. That is the greatest synergy on this planet.
It's
This
the
is a
maddest shit test
probabilistic
ever.
emergent universe. Synergy and
JW,
emergence go
JW,
hand in hand. They're two sides of the same coin. When a man
GW.
and a woman bring their diverse skills to the table and elegantly
Yo,
coordinate, they produce life, my boy.
G, JW.
Nothing but a man and a woman on this earth
Yo,
means anything.
yo, GW.
Go ahead, jump in. You don't
You
gotta
speaking,
queue
you
up.
speaking, you speaking facts, bro.
I
Fuck
love
that
you,
shit.
brother.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
I agree. I followed
god.
him. You gotta follow.
Listen, I love all my brothers and sisters in here. Me and Zerk about to create a cultural reformation. We're not with that revolutionary talk, burning shit down. We're bringing it back to the old days, the
He's winning me
traditions.
over. He is winning me over.
Yo,
Zerka,
yeah, me
I've
too.
Let's
been won you
go.
over.
I like him again.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
But I will say, when we're talking about beta males and we're talking about incels, these are the people that we need to get hold on to. Well, we need to hold on to and bring this message to. So
That's
I
a fact.
think
We have to
so I think
understand that literally the beta male is the story of humanity. Do you understand what's called the cognitive trade-off?
no, please tell me.
When we were in the trees as descendants of the chimpanzee and
He's
bonobo,
giving beta males their flowers,
when
bro.
resources got tough, they kicked us out of the tree. We were sitting ducks in the savannah desert. So we had to mutate and develop an upright hip posture. We developed into Homo erectus, erectus meaning upright. And the way
Right.
that we survived when we
Right,
were
right,
being
right,
preyed
right.
upon was by
Damn,
cooperating. We traded off the short-term memory capacity that
damn. I
monkeys
was
have
black.
in order to store the memory of symbols and language so we could communicate. And this is when beta males started to communicate and form alliances against the apex predator, the alpha males. And this is the story
JW.
of
So
humanity.
we were black
You
before.
look at these bureaucratic systems where paperwork and legality and all these things and rules, they're trying to suppress strong men. That's the story of humanity. You guys telling me, hey, J-Dub, you talk too much. You're too aggressive. Oh, you're too shredded. You're on steroids. Just trying to
No, what's
shrink a
up? I go fuck.
motherfucking apex predator down, but I'm trying to pull you up here because it's lonely at the top. We got to turn the few into the many. And that's
Hundred
exactly right.
percent.
Oh my
hundred
god.
We are
percent.
all born with innate greatness. We all
Zerka,
have our
please
path
toss
to
me
God.
co-host, bro.
Now, genetics do take a factor. Some of us are little bitty, some of us are monsters. So, genetics take into play IQ differences. There are vast differences between men and women that we have to
Facts.
accept. There's biological differences between all human beings, but everyone's got something special and fucking impeccable inside them. You got to lock in on that shit and be wholeheartedly sacrificial. And you got to take that irreversible path because it's all about commitment.
So
What the fuck are y'all boys
alpha.
committed to?
Okay,
I
All
want
right,
to
so
hear what motherfuckers are
everyone take
committed
a
to
okay,
look at
right
the
okay.
now.
The
gold in the
alpha,
nest.
the alpha. So are you? So okay. So alpha male, right, is a mindset, right? Is that what you're saying? And also,
I mean,
secondly,
if you want to go off the evolutionary biology definition, an alpha male is the species in the pack that has the best ability for reactionary violence. We as humans, since we have tools like rifles, all have the same proactionary violence capacity. We can all sit from a distance and snipe off our enemy. But who has the ability to react when five motherfuckers try and jump you? Who's gonna survive that? That's the alpha male. Now, what you have to understand is this: we
Bro,
are all
most people just
beyond
go to
alpha
their
males.
9 to 5 and
Listen,
go back home to
we
their
are
fat wife,
beyond
bro. What do
alpha
you mean
males.
get
We are
jumped?
beyond. Let me talk. We are beyond apex predators. Think about the hunting capacity of an orca in the ocean. Now think
Mm.
of human beings with these fucking boats and fucking fisherman nets. We can catch thousands of fish at once, way beyond any fucking orca who's the apex predator of
What
their
is he
environment.
talking
Apex
about?
predators can only dominate their niche environment. Think about a lion in the jungle. We have the ability to sit up in a fucking tree and snipe lions down. We are all apex predators as human beings. We have tools at our disposal that are turning us into something way beyond Homo sapien. This is transhumanism. We all
We
have
have
to adapt with the
and we have
technologies.
and that's what I was going to bring up. So and Zerka brought it up when it comes to the technologies suppressing us. That is one of the main
You're going to
issues.
get
But
what you're looking for. You know about the reticular activating system, right? The group of neurons in your frontal lobe that
please
allows you
tell
to
me.
chunk in on what's relevant to your interests. If you believe that technology is going to suppress you, you're going to get what you're looking for. But if you believe that it's going to enhance you and turn you into a fucking monster beyond anything the world has ever seen, you're going to increase
Mm,
probabilities of materializing that into fruition. I'd rather
He's
take the
right.
victor
it's the
mentality.
mind. It's the mind. It's yeah. That's fire. That's fire. 100%.
You can look at it from the perspective of the placebo effect or nocebo effect. They try and tell us that going outside without sunblock is going to give you cancer. Well, if you believe that to be true, that's the beautiful thing about this world. The certainty of your belief is the main factor in your outcomes. If you believe
True.
not having
Mm.
fucking sunblock on and
Nah.
you go outside, you're going to
S-
increase
It's
probabilities
the
of skin cancer.
Wait. So if I believe I could fly, I could just jump off my
You're
balcony.
being a troll. That's just
Yep.
not funny.
Try it.
but you know
Oh no.
but
Try it.
but
That's the old shit.
but you know
Only
what? No no
dweebs would
no
laugh at something like
no no no.
that.
JW, I got this. If you here's the funniest thing, right? Is that
Conduct
if you
yourself like a man, because in real life you would have just got punched in the mouth.
well one
Oh, by just
Oh
disagreeing with
shit.
you.
No,
but
by
the thing
being a
is
troll, you wouldn't speak again.
I,
okay one
that
thing
wasn't me. That wasn't being a
right.
troll. I believe in
Let look
manifestation,
let
having
me
There's
goals and
never
stuff
been
like
any
that, and being
let me say
supernatural
positive.
this. Let me say
phenomenon in
this.
the
Let me say
observable
this.
La
universe.
la la
When
la.
it comes to flying, right? When you're saying flying, you mean like you're thinking on a physical status. So you're thinking about flying physically. But if you start moving in a different perspective and you're moving spiritually and emotionally, that word fly could mean something completely different to you. You
No,
could
he
be,
was very explicit about flying off the balcony.
but it's perspective. But it's perspective because he said fly. He said fly. When he said fly off the balcony, of course he's
Okay,
trolling.
if you're abstracting it into personal development, of course there's something there, my boy.
He should try to jump off. I think he should.
There are different ways. There are different ways of seeing things, and there's different perspectives. So if we want to evolve ourselves, we need to make sure, yeah, as you're saying, it's not to suppress those things. But if we look at
Mhm.
iPad kids nowadays, and they have an iPad in front of them,
What are we
and they
talking
see,
about? The Chinese model of
Oh
TikTok
my god,
or
yo,
the
yo,
American
Zherka, I have a
model of
question.
TikTok?
Zherka, I have a
no,
question.
I wasn't
I
gonna
have a
say
The
that
question,
to him.
Chinese
Zherka.
model of TikTok, if they notice that a kid's aimlessly scrolling, they give them a fucking heads up that they're being watched and they shouldn't be doing that. And they make them
Mm.
do shit that's productive to their
And
Yo,
intellect.
this guy's just
and
Yo,
when
content.
Zherka,
and
speaking of
when
suppression. Okay, go ahead, Max.
Thank you. And when they're sitting at this table, they well, like I see it when people are out having meals with their families and they're not engaging, and it
hmm
messes around with
And
their
it should take a
mental
strong man
chemistry.
saying, get the fuck off your tablet or get to do something useful. Now, if the
One
kid's
hundred
over there
percent.
doing homework and he's learning and he's listening to a lecture, you affirm that. And you shame and fucking blame the fucking degenerate acts right in front of the family. You make them cry. You fucking take the laptop away, the
Some
Happy
fucking
spanking.
iPad.
Look at the
Then
happy
the next
life is
time
the
he said,
tweets.
worst
Dinner,
thing
Dad,
that
can I have
ever
my
happens in the
iPad?
world.
And
Some
he's over there
spanking
doing
too.
math homework and he's fucking listening
Look
to
at
a
the tweets
lecture.
in the nest, guys. It's
Give him some
gold.
spanking.
But happy wife, happy life isn't right. I see so many people cucking out to other things just for simplicity. And as you're saying, is that we need to elevate ourselves and we need to start moving more forward. But everyone's been so accustomed to comfort, and we need to change that and find comfort in other things. Find comfort in suffering.
You shouldn't even be talking about
The
comfort in general. It's all about fulfillment, my boy. It's all about
Well, yeah,
increasing
100.
specificity of
Yeah, you got me
achieving your
there.
goal. You
You
need a
got me there.
specific
Yeah.
goal. What are you committed to? Tell me right now, Max. What are you committed to? What
Well,
is irreversible in your life? What door have you gone through? There's no coming back from. Let's think about rites of
Co-hosting for
passages. We're
Zherka.
talking about fights and this and that. Respect to all the men who have been in a fist fight. See, our culture doesn't celebrate fist fights anymore, but think of all the pussy little boys that used to get bullied. And then the first time they say, fuck this, and they step through that door, there ain't no coming back from. And they defend themselves and they'll never be bullied again.
okay. So
It's
So
called
is
so
Elon
let
Musk
me
humanity.
less
so
of a
let me
man
It's
defend
because he
called
hasn't been in a
so
fist
let me
transforming.
fight?
defend myself. So let me defend myself, and I'll tell you exactly what my purpose is. I moved to an island of Mallorca at 18, and I lost everything that I had. I did social media before this, and I had over 1 million followers, and I was in a completely different space. I grew my subconscious through social media, and I followed trends, and it ruined my life. I had no money. I had all these issues. I'm not going to go into them because I don't want to say them out loud. But I'll tell you this for sure. After everything that I've been through, and I found my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, what I want to do is this 5 years that I spent over here in Mallorca fighting everything and being alone is I understand how that feels. And there are so many people that think that harsh talking is going to help some people. But here's the thing: when it comes to these beta males and this and that, you just shouting at them isn't going to help them. There are different ways that you come to them, and with Jesus Christ, the person who I put my faith in, the person who I want to be a role model in my life, he comes from that. You come to me as you are. You come to me as you are, and you will change with me.
See,
Okay?
that's
If
the
you
feminized
Much
perspective.
love, bro.
no,
Much love.
no. Okay,
See,
look,
modern
no,
Christianity
no
is way
one,
too tolerant of
no,
degeneracy.
no
God is
one
not a
is fit
hippie.
for
God is a
initiation in the
tyrannical
beginning.
maniac. God
No
will
one is
bust your head open
no
for blaming social
no
media and
one
the
no
trends.
one is
For you,
fit
you
for
fucked your life
initiation in
up.
the
You made
no
those
one.
choices because you're
Yes,
focused on
yes, and
comfort
I no look.
instead of transcendence.
Okay, well, look, okay, listen
You
to what I'm
fucked your
saying.
life up. It's time for
No,
you
I
to
didn't
take
fuck my life up.
accountability.
I
Yes, you
didn't
did.
look. No, I did.
Holy shit.
Settle down.
If you
Settle down.
if
Hey,
Take
you
a
Max,
breath.
Yo,
Max,
yo,
come,
yo,
come,
yo,
look,
come
yo.
down,
you're
It's
come
telling
down
going too
now.
you're
far.
telling
It's going too
Max,
far.
Take
Shut
a
chill.
no,
up,
no, no,
breath,
no,
Max.
my
no,
End
no,
boy.
this.
no, no,
Shut
no, no.
up.
Let me
Crash
speak.
out.
Yeah,
Let me
End this
speak.
Take a
Let me
deep
conversation.
breath.
let me
It's
speak. Let
okay.
me
We're
tell
all
you.
here.
Let me tell.
This
Let
is
me
a
tell you this
safe
real.
space.
yeah,
I didn't.
This is
I
a
didn't.
safe
yeah.
space. We're in
I
liberal
didn't.
zone
Slow
now.
down, slow
I
down.
didn't fuck my life up because my
This is
life
a
was never.
liberal safe space. It's
Look,
okay. Take a
look.
breath.
Yo, read the
I
room,
didn't.
JW.
I did.
JW, relax, bro.
I didn't fuck my life up. My life was never fucked up to begin with. Look, God
You
will put me.
literally just said
God,
that the trends
shut the
fucked your
fuck
life
up
up.
and listen to me. Shut the fuck up and listen, bro. We've had enough, okay? Listen to what I'm saying,
Was that
okay?
enough? Okay.
You,
Mute him. Mute
you've been,
him. You're the
you've been,
co-host.
okay.
Harry Potter's crashing out the
You
room.
look here. Okay, well, the thing is, bro, I'm telling you real shit. Okay,
Settle
so
down, my boy.
you ask this
Mute
question,
him. Mute
motherfucker.
him.
You answer this question,
Yo, this is
motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
hilarious. This
You
is
want
hilarious.
you answer this question. You ask the question, so I'm gonna answer it. Okay, I've been through stuff, and I've never. Fuck, jeez. Okay, look,
Settle down. I
I've
love you, brother. I love you.
Yeah,
I've
chill.
look,
Yo,
I've been through tough stuff, but the thing is, God gives tough challenges to the people that need them most. Okay, if I went through 5 years of bad stuff and here I am, that is there is a reason why there is that. Just because I saw social media rip me to shreds and wanted me to become all these horrible things. Okay, all these horrible things. I took a step back. I took a step back from 1 million followers. I took a step back from all the money that I could have made. And what I did, I spent time growing myself as an individual. Okay. So when you say that, when you sit there and you tell me that you fuck your life up, you fuck your life up. Hey, how the fuck are you gonna change someone's life, dickhead? If you talk like that,
Nigga, no
how are
one
you?
cares.
What you need to do
bro,
is
what
It's
do you
called
mean?
you
Okay, all
need to
accountability,
right, bro.
dog.
grow.
It's
Enough.
called
Nigga,
Enough.
being
Yes,
Enough.
anti-fragile.
yes,
Don't be soft and
and I
zesty.
take
Enough.
and I take the accountability. I take the
Max,
accountability.
You
Max.
sounding
But
like a
here's the
faggot. Chill.
here's the difference. Here's the difference, mate. Is that there is true love, and what you're talking about doesn't sound like love.
Max,
I've
Max, the
literally
important
told
thing
you I
is
love
Bro,
you
everyone share
multiple
the space.
times.
Everyone share the space, bottom right hand corner, purple pill shaped button. Tap that and then hit the
Max,
retweet
listen
button.
to me. I
Quote tweet
love
it
you,
because it goes
brother.
in the
It's
algorithm
either
better.
love or fear.
Share the
I don't
space.
fear you. I love you. I
Oh shit.
sincerely want you to have certainty about the
I
path
don't
you're
love you.
taking, and I want you to commit wholeheartedly, and I want you to make it irreversible and just keep moving forward, brother. And it takes
Thank you,
accountability, and it takes discipline, and it takes getting off the comfort. It's all about no
thank you,
pain, no gain. The realest thing in life is no pain, no gain. As you said, God, the chosen ones get tested the hardest. You got to believe in yourself. And we're
That's
I
talking
do.
true.
about the modes of cataphatic and apophatic theology. The word cataphatic is the positive life affirmations. I am.
Can you
I
spell
am
that?
on my path. I am a child of God. I am moving forward. And then we also have the
So,
apophatic
so
element,
tell
which
me.
is what
So
God
here's the
isn't.
interesting
What
thing,
God
and thank
isn't
you.
is a
And
fragile excuse maker and a tolerant hippie.
I 100% agree. And do you know what's the funny thing as well? Is what you just said there was incredibly valuable. But you asked me a question that was incredibly deep. I then opened up
I
and I
know,
told
and
you
we're
about
moving
it.
forward,
And
dog.
then,
Chill,
and no,
chill.
no,
Bro,
I'm
you're on
just
the same
highlighting it.
side.
I'm just
Yeah,
highlighting
didn't you call him a faggot?
it. No, I'm just
I
highlighting it,
did.
okay? This is a lesson for everyone in here, okay? If you're going to ask someone a question to open up and be vulnerable, and you do that, and then you say, you take no accountability, you take this, how's anyone going to
This
grow from
isn't
that?
me and you
I
Bro,
talking,
stop.
it's the
appreciate you.
audience. We
I
have a
Stop
appreciate you.
responsibility
defending
for
I
him.
Bro,
this
appreciate
bro,
platform.
I
there's
appreciate
this is
what
not
you said now,
appropriate,
but I'm
bro.
just
There's
highlighting it.
550 people. It's not
I'm just
appropriate.
I'm just
It's not the
highlighting
it's
that.
not the audience for that.
No, no, no. It's not
No, it
that at all. But
actually is. What are
I'm
you
I'm
talking
Bunch
hi-
of
about?
I'm
kids.
Weren't you
highlighting
the
this.
one telling fart jokes a few minutes ago?
He's power tripping.
Who?
I'm highlighting this. I'm just highlighting that. Okay.
Zherka, still there?
I'm highlighting that we need to be careful
Did he
with the
fall
types of
asleep?
Tell
people.
me it wasn't this Jay Leno looking motherfucker right here.
Did he
Jay
fall
Leno.
asleep? What
Chin
happened?
Chin
I don't
There
know,
McGinty
but
there
over
are
I,
here.
guys,
there
I'm getting
Nah,
there
he
out of
went to go
here.
eat
there.
dinner. That's why.
He's eating turkey right now.
That's why
Yeah,
he
But
he's
brought
eating
me up,
turkey.
because
um,
he knows I'm gonna hold his platform down. I
100%,
didn't ask him to
So
100%.
speak.
so
He asked
But
me to come
so
I'm
speak
gonna
on his
hold you
platform.
accountability like
whoa
you
whoa
did me.
Max. Let's take
JW,
this
I'm
back
gonna
to
get out of
the
here, bro.
to
Y'all be good.
No, no,
I
hold
love
on,
you,
hold on,
bro.
No,
hold
Y'all,
on,
y'all
hold
be
on.
good, bro.
I'm gonna hold accountability like I'm
Max,
gonna hold you accountability as brothers. So that's
Max.
what
Straight
I'm
up.
doing.
Okay, this guy is giving me a headache. I'm gonna leave. Can you just message me when he's done? When he's out?
Who you
Thanks.
talking to?
I'll mute. I
The
talked enough.
JW guy.
I'm annoying you.
because
Be
here's the question,
specific. What
right?
bothers you?
You talk too much, bro. You're motor mouth.
You're a faggot and haven't said one thing all night.
I
You are
got a
literally a
fucking
There we
headache
are.
faggot.
from you, bro. I got
There
You
a
we
are an
are.
headache.
ugly
Yeah,
incel
Ivy's
faggot.
gay.
There we are,
Ivy's gay.
chap.
You look
There
like
we are.
motherfucking Jay
Honest
Leno.
question,
You
honest
literally
question.
look like Jay Leno. You got an
Okay.
oversized chin. So you hate
For real.
yourself. You hate your
For
aesthetic.
real.
Oh, not the
I
chin.
hate
It's
it.
on.
I hate it. But your mama loves it. She loves it.
My mom's been dead for 10 years, my boy.
Damn.
I dug her
so
up, bro.
so
I dug her
legitimately,
You
ass
would
up.
ugly
Bro, I
guys
think
be
that's the
okay
motherfucker.
worst
with?
pain. That's the worst pain a man could ever go through is the death of his mother. Personally,
Especially in a
I
despicable
think
way
that's
of
the worst.
glioblastoma multiform. Brain
Oh
tumor.
Oh
shit.
man, sorry to hear that, man.
Rest
Watching
in
her shrink
peace.
down to 79 pounds at the end, I
What
had
the
to
fuck?
hold
Stop
her up.
trauma
I
dumping.
had to
We don't
wipe
want
her
trauma
ass at
dumping.
the end. I had to hold her up in the shower.
You're
Despicable
trauma
shit no one
dumping.
should ever see.
I
But
don't
guess
even know.
what?
I don't know. I
It
don't
makes
even know
you
how you
it
have the
makes you
mental
appreciate
strength to
life.
do that
Before
shit.
Bro,
that,
You
I
know.
was a complete sociopath. I cried 2 times in my life
you
growing up.
still are, bro.
And after that, no, I'm very empathetic. I'm rigorously empathetic. I love everyone in here. And I cry
You
every
almost
single
made
day.
Max fucking cry. You
I
just
cry.
act
J-
like
No,
I'm
no,
being
no.
easily
vulnerable.
It's
drunk.
JW,
Yeah,
passion.
you
It's
almost made
passion,
Smack
boys.
JW,
It's
cry.
passion.
JW. Quick question: How do you even have? How did you even have the mental strength to do all that, bro?
It
Oh
was
my
necessity
days.
because she had been pissing herself for days and had to take a shower.
So you had to take care of her, right? Yeah,
It was
you had to
there
take
was
care of
no
her
other
like a real
choice.
man. Yeah, that's crazy. But like, I'm just saying, like, I don't even understand how you didn't even have a mental breakdown after it. That's the crazy part. Like, how did
I
you
I
even
did.
mean,
have
I
the?
did, and it
he
happened
did.
so quick, and it's so wild to have gone through because it happened out of nowhere. She had a seizure, took her in. They said she had inoperable brain tumor, had essentially like a month to live, and she fought that shit for a year and a half. And she just got tired of taking chemo. There's something to holding on and having something to live for. And as soon as she was holding on, and as soon as I told her, Mom, it's okay. You can let go and go meet God. She was literally gone in like 20 minutes. It was fucking it's crazy. You notice how people like a man and a woman going to the hospital and a man's holding on until he sees his brother comes into town. And then once he goes, once the brother comes says hi, he'll go and then the wife will pass right after. Like people you really got to have something to live for and that's what it's all about.
JW.
Damn,
That's funny you
that's
said
really
that.
dark, dude. That's
JW,
I had
Yeah, it
no
got really
idea.
dark, but
That
they were
is a
trauma
really
dumping.
dark story.
They were
JW.
trauma
You know
dumping
what's
like crazy, bro.
JW? You know what's
No,
crazy?
JW is this is what makes a diamond out of his soul, right? And on the other side, it all makes sense. But this is why JW has so much more development than the average Joe, is because he went through what is this called? A tragic movie. That's a movie. That's movie kind of pain. Not even in movies do you feel that kind of pain. You know what I'm saying? It's it,
thousand, a thousand
Incomprehensible
percent.
shit etched into my brain forever because I was like a father to her. I always took care of her. She was suicidal. She was bipolar. Was an alcoholic. Had a lot of issues. She was an incredible woman when she was sober. But one of the last times she'd come out to Vegas with me and she'd stay for long periods of time. And the last time she was crying, I don't want to leave. Like she knew she was gonna die. I don't want to leave you. And incomprehensible shit. And there is something to all of you in the audience. I know it's cliche. If you have a mom and a dad that are still alive, shit, stay in touch with them and
Did
stay connected. No matter
Wait,
what you're
wait. So I
going
have a
through with
question.
them.
So I have a little. I have a question.
Did you fall in love with running? Uh, was that like a way of letting everything
That's a
go?
Running
good
for
one.
me, I was always an athlete. I was a sprinter, so I hated long distance, and I was always good looking, getting a lot of bitches. And when I stopped playing football at Arizona State, I was trapping, like hustling and shit. So I went to my sister's graduation, and I noticed that the girls weren't really feeling me like that anymore. They were kind of like looking at me crazy, and I saw a picture of myself, and my face had gotten chubby. I didn't even realize it, and I was like, "Fuck it, I got to start running." And I went to the treadmill and could only do 0.25 on the treadmill. And then I'd up it each time. Within a week, I was doing a mile, 2 miles, 30 minutes, doing 3.5
Dude, I
miles
just
in
keep
30 minutes.
hearing. What
And then
about
I
eating
noticed my face
fish?
getting shredded lean, and you get
What
addicted to
time?
face gains. Everyone in here should be addicted to running. What it'll do to your face is incomprehensible.
Yeah, true. Even Zherka recommends it. Yeah, it
Yeah,
helped
for
There's
me.
sure.
there's
Face
cannabinoids
matching,
when you run and you get
face
It
super
matching
helps
high
a
off
helps.
lot.
those, and it's
Not
it's a
only that,
natural
but the
way.
sauna as
Very good.
well. 30 minutes in the sauna will just take that to a whole nother gear, too.
Major
Which one do you
detox.
recommend? A dry sauna or regular sauna?
I mean, obviously, whatever you can access,
Sauna's a
but the
sauna.
dry sauna at about 185 to 200 is optimal.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Literally,
JW,
so
reduce
JW,
the
do you
time you
like
sit.
caffeine?
It'll
so
reduce.
fifth
I
story,
take
like for
3 scoops of pre-workout
for
every
me.
day. I wake up, first thing
So
I do is take a bucked up 333 grams of caffeine
Do
pre-workout.
Any
And
nicotine?
Do you fast, bro?
no nicotine. I intermittent fast every day. I only eat once I'm like going through hours of hunger pain at the end of every day. I haven't eaten yet. I have 2 burritos from Cafe Rio, steak burritos over there. Don't eat
What
breakfast. I don't eat lunch. I intermittent fast every day. Eat one meal. I eat a huge meal once, and then I might eat a snack, and I'll have a couple protein smoothies. And I'm
do you like?
255. I'm 255, shredded out, leaned up. Don't let the world tell you got to consume and eat food all motherfucking day, because that's cat.
but what about all the soy products? You don't think that feminizes men?
I don't buy into that shit.
Scientifically, they say it does.
I don't buy into any of the
What about the
placebo effect
atrazine
type
in the
shit.
water? What about the atrazine in the
I
water?
literally drink tap water like a savage. I don't give a fuck.
That's crazy.
Yo,
I
That's
thought those were
wild.
making the frogs gay. I thought that's
No,
what
fuck
that's
the
happened with
called
frogs.
them.
motherfucking incel culture.
wait,
It was
so yo,
scientific.
so for me,
JW, it was
so for me,
scientifically proven, bro.
if I walked in on someone that OD'd on heroin, right, and all the adults in the room were panicking like he's dead because he's blue, and I'm the one. I was a teenager. I'm the one that had to give the person CPR and stay calm and stay on the phone, 911 and all that crap, and mouth to mouth
Bro,
and all of that. And then afterwards, after I saved his life, I just went back and played FIFA.
gay.
Is
That's
that like
What
heartbreaking.
is the
is
point
that
of that, dog? This
am
is
I a
the
That's
second time you
sociopath?
Damn.
brought up
My
heroin.
question my
What
question
was
is,
the
am I a
point of that?
sociopath? Does that make me a sociopath?
She's trying to be deep, but that's not
That I
working.
just
I
went
think you want
and
to
put
project that
Take
you're a
story. Take
sociopath
story.
because deep down inside you're fragile and you're a coward. So you want to come off like you're a psycho that'll really kill if it came to it. Don't bully me because you've been bullied your whole life.
No, that's a cool story, cool
It's
anecdote.
not it's not cool to put the extra on into FIFA and this and that. There was no context in the
For real.
discussion for him to share that.
It is a little weird.
You know what I find so interesting about JW's story is there's a high probability, not always, but high probability that Jay, your mom was your child in your last incarnation.
That's fucking
That
crazy you
happens.
say that,
That
brother.
happens a lot
Dude,
more often than people
JW.
think. And I had no idea you had that kind of story where was she had schizophrenia?
No, she was bipolar. She had attempted suicide my entire life. I'd observed her attempt suicide at least 8 times.
Oh,
She never worked. She had Munchausen syndrome, where she'd always want to be sick, so she didn't have to work. These type of things, and
and what about your dad?
my dad was a savage. My dad was he was a roofer. Would get up every day, 3 in the morning, go roof. I grew up with my dad. I only met my mom when my mom was a drug addict, and I met her when I was 5 years old. But and it was such a wild dynamic because and my dad's he remarried a very disciplined woman from Iowa that grew up on a farm that literally raised me like her redheaded stepchild. I'm talking never caved in, was so disciplinarian, so authoritarian. It was like fucking boot camp. So when I met my dad's, I'm on my best behavior. No second guessing nothing. Getting physically abused, which I respect my dad for it. Got my ass beat. And he's 6'4", 250, a monster himself. Then I go to my mom's every other weekend, and because she has so much fucking she has so much shame for losing custody of us, she'd let us just run wild. She'd let me cuss. I'd have bitches over, spend the night, fucking go out all night. It allowed me to shape my personality, where I had the best of both worlds, like extreme constraint. Where at my dad's, I'm fucking like, if I don't have good grades, I'm getting my ass beat. So I'm having to figure out how, because I never went to school. I hated school. I'm having to figure out how to avoid punishment at all times. So it kind of turned me into a creative. Then I go to my mom's and I'm just able to let loose and have a free spirit. And it was just incredible. But my mom, she was
Oh,
always,
so your mom helped you for the music stuff.
yeah. Oh, my mom gave me the most immense confidence. I remember one of the first times I saw her, she had the Michael Jackson Thriller video on, and I was over there dancing, and she looked at me. She's like, "You're so handsome. You could be a famous actor or a singer. You could do whatever you want." And I'd never been complimented like that in my life. I was like, "Really?" And it just turned me into a fucking just a cocky little motherfucker. I was always the most cocky. She would film me with the old school VHS, and I'd be like, "I just scored 10,000 goals this year." Literally said that shit, that I scored over 10,000 goals. I used to always just speak shit into existence, like exaggerate everything. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy if you believe it. If you're wholeheartedly committed and you're speaking about yourself in the future tense, as if it's already happened and time is catching up to it slowly but surely, you're increasing probabilities. But the beautiful thing is you have to hold yourself accountable, because you can fool the world, but you can't fool yourself. You can't fool God. And if you know you deserve something, it's going to happen over time. I'm not talking about entitled deservedness. I'm talking about subconscious, unconscious knowing that you've done everything you can. You've left it all on the field, and that you're a good person, and that you've earned God's grace. And that, of course, you're going to get tested to grow and to overcome and to become an overcomer. And at the right time, God's going to give it to you when you're ready for it. But yeah, my mom, she was always suicidal. This is what made me like really connected to the idea of suicide. And I really care about mental health. This is what's taken me down the path of understanding philosophy, psychology, studying a lot of depth psychology, Adler, Jung, Freud, obviously. Adler's the big dog. You looked into Adler yet?
I'm against them because I'm a Steiner, but Jung, Adler, Freud,
Just
I
the
know a ton of.
inferiority complex is so misinterpreted. Having an
Okay, yeah, yeah.
inferiority complex is the best thing you could have. And he meant it as the ultimate developmental
You're
model.
talking about like Floyd Mayweather.
Just understanding that you're inferior to who you want to become. And
Exactly.
what you desire, there's a distance between who you are and what you desire. And it's all about dissolving that gap slowly over time and becoming superior. This is how you become the superior man, by understanding that you are inferior and you're not entitled to shit and you got to earn it.
Now, Jay, what happens if you don't become shit? Is your life fulfilled still?
There's something to that. I believe there's an objective purpose of life, which is evolving away from fear towards love. If you become a better person in terms of making micro shifts at the intention, if your intentions are every day becoming more and more rooted in love and certainty, and you're informing your decisions and you have more clarity in thought, and you're becoming more certain about the path you're taking and the way you're moving, you're evolving in life. And God will accept that. It isn't about like concretizing all of your goals and materializing everything. It really is all about evolving. Now, if you're de-evolving and you're becoming more of a coward, more chaotic in the mind, having cognitive dissonance, the uncomfortable feeling of like your projected self and who you know you are, and like who the world you want to be in, and the world that your actual reality, that uncomfortable feeling. And We want to reduce that by any means necessary. So that's why motherfuckers take the Machiavellian approach, the utilitarian consequentialist approach. They want to minimize pain and maximize pleasure by any means necessary. And it really is all about. I'm watching this bet right now.
Zerka, I mean, not Zerka,
Going crazy
JW.
though.
When your mom passed away, how long was it until your daughter? You had your daughter. How many years
And
after?
that, it's crazy that whole dynamic because I call my daughter Baby Cheryl. It's crazy. I even had
Remember we talked about
yeah.
that.
My
So
daughter was born.
How
My
long
daughter
after
was
she
born in
passed away?
2022. Or
Okay, and when did what year did your mother pass away?
She's a tiger.
she passed away 12 years ago.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
No,
All
she
right,
was
I'm
born
getting
in
out of here, guys.
Hold on, Jay. When did you approach success
2023.
for the first time? When did you approach financial success?
Financial success. I mean, I was on a full ride football scholarship, and I started selling weed at Arizona State, and it's a major party school. And I was the man, so I was throwing parties where I'd be making like 3,000. When I stopped playing ball, like from selling weed and like throwing parties, I stacked up like 60, 70,000 pretty quick. That's after buying like a big body BMW and like kind of living frivolous, living a somewhat luxurious lifestyle. But I really came into money when actually started managing strippers. It was,
What the
yeah.
fuck?
And there we
Let's
have
go.
it.
I
Let's
started
Hey.
go.
and I tell all my
Let's
young boys
go.
all the time, you don't need to take penitentiary chances. You don't need to motherfucking sell drugs and do this and that. All you got to do is get you a solid stripper and be a good man to her, provide protection, pipe her down, be a
The
leader to
most
The
her,
strippers
the
say I'm
most
a
base
spank
thing is
and
the
she
connoisseur.
would
most
I'm
she
gonna
would
base
make
thing
you
is
spank
two
all of
hundred
you.
discernment.
fifty
Just saying.
thousand dollars. And so essentially one of my teammates was a pimp. And so I started going out and girls want to fuck me. So I'd be like, why don't you come with me to Las Vegas? And because two of my teammates were the managers at the Sapphire and the Rhino, the top two strip clubs in the world. So I used to get vans and just bring girls out where I'd pay for their sheriff's card, I'd pay for all their accommodations, hotel, provide armed security, and then I'd make them give me 50% of whatever they made. And that's when I really started coming into like big money. And then I came into sports betting where I made 130,000 off beginner's luck in my first 2 months and became a millionaire for the first time off betting on sports. And then obviously EXO Tour Life hit. I've sold over 60 million as a music producer. I've made millions of dollars in the music game. So, and my calling from God is to become the top motivational speaker in the world and a life coach and a mentor.
JW, did you make EXO Tour Life?
I produced all the melodies on EXO Tour Life. Yeah, co-produced
Oh
it.
shit!
So
JW, you know who you remind me
along
of?
along with Jack Harlow, What's Poppin', the What's Poppin' remix, Pop Smoke the Woo, which was a #1 hit song, songs for Kanye, Lil Durk, a bunch of people. I produced 11 Billboard Hot
Yo,
100s,
damn.
some of
JW,
the
you
biggest
remind me
songs of
of
all time.
Brute the Force.
A lot of people tell me that, and I've listened to him, and he's well spoken. He's not on my level by any means. No disrespect.
JW, are you black? I don't know. Your profile pic is like you,
No, I'm
or
white.
I don't know. Oh shit, you have deep voice. Damn.
I mean, I just speak
Hey,
how I speak. I try to speak as clearly as possible, as correct as possible. But it is what it is. People think I sound black. That's their opinion.
No, no,
AJW.
it's just
I
cool. It's
have
just cool.
I had a quick question.
Go ahead, brother.
I agree with a lot of the things you're saying. There was something that you said about like 15 minutes ago. I'm trying to bring it back a little bit. Um, I agree with you about how in the Western societies, Christianity is becoming feminine, and I understand that because it has a huge influence on people,
Mm-hmm.
and people are becoming feminine, right? Who are Christian. I do agree with that. Um, in the Western
Which the main
societies. Now,
word
I
that
guess
that
my
pertains to is tolerance and sacrifice.
yeah,
Not sacrifice in
absolutely
terms of sacrificing comfort, sacrificing actual virtue and
right.
your principles. They want us to sacrifice who God intended us to become, which is hard-nosed,
Yeah,
fucking disciplined, virtuous males. They want us to
right.
sacrifice that and be tolerant of homosexuality and tolerant of women in the workplace and these type of things. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. And you admitted yourself that Jesus is the prototype for humanity. So you agree with the way Jesus lived, right?
100%. He was life
So I
affirming.
guess
You guys all need to
right.
look into how Paul the apostle really misinterpreted and reinterpreted
Okay,
Jesus.
so that so
What?
before you do that, because you said it before, and this is what I'm trying to get to. Um, you keep demonizing the Apostle Paul, and I'm really really
hmm
confused. Um, what about, because I'm very 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 aware of Paul's teachings,
Of course, he
regardless of
condemned
whether you agree that they
homosexuality and made it known that there was a big difference between men and women. He didn't like the idea of women in the church and these type of things. This leads into the
right,
broader
because he
discussion of the
established.
difference between Christianity and
Yeah.
Christendom.
No,
Like
okay,
the
okay.
institutional
I think you're
church,
you're
as
conflating
opposed to
two
the
different
life
topics.
affirming message that Jesus promoted.
No, you're conflating two different topics. We're talking about masculinity. What you blamed him for? Christianity becoming feminine. I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
Why would you blame the Apostle Paul for feminizing Christianity? I would like to I
Like
want
I
to hear you
said, Jesus was
substantiate
more
that.
about the cataphatic approach of I am and affirming things, and Paul was more about negation and he introduced the concept of original sin, that we're all born with this sin, and we should repent, and we should have shame for our sin, and these type of like essentially the herd morality. This is what Nietzsche spoke about when he said God is dead, and he talks about the master versus the slave morality, the inversion of virtue for vice, how these
So
vices.
practically, how did Paul practically live different than Jesus? I'm still not getting like what he was totally masculine. I don't understand where this feminine accusation
I
is
just
coming
said
from.
like the
100%.
Original sin.
negating the life affirming message of Jesus and making it more about sin, where individuals think that they're sinful, and they're focusing on all these negative characteristics of themselves instead of affirming the greatness that's innate within all of us. This
Uh,
is like the fundamental uh processes of how we've gotten
I
to this point.
how does that feminize Christian? I don't understand the correlation.
It
Like, how does
sounds a
that
bit like
feminize
you want to
Christianity?
indulge in sin.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't think anyone is reacting to that biblical teaching and saying, okay, let's become feminine. Let's not take accountability for our actions. Paul literally said to discipline your body. He said, take the shield, the body of armor, and he said to fight as a man. He said he encouraged people to confront evildoers. He confronted Peter, man to man.
100%.
When Peter was doing something wrong, Paul stepped up to him, the only apostle to do so. And Paul died as a martyr.
This is what I
So
was
I don't
talking
understand
about earlier. It
what's
pertains
feminine.
to what I was talking about earlier with like the suppression of the apex predator or the alpha male through like the beta males, through like bureaucratic type systems, like the priest. The
Who
priest. He was
Yeah,
a
but
priest.
I don't see.
don't
And
I
you
and
mean,
so he
Paul was
wanted the
probably one of the
church to be
most.
bigger than Jesus.
Yeah, but he was one of the most masculine
I know, but
figures
he
in
had a
Scripture, right?
bias to making the church bigger than Jesus and the teachings.
I find it
That sounds like propaganda you're believing,
No,
bro.
this
You
is a
I
can't
find
believe
fact.
that
Was he
stuff.
not a priest?
Yeah, but
And this is
I
why
think
I
you're
tied it
taking
into
on these
Christendom, what Kierkegaard talks
that's
about.
not what
This directly maps
not what
onto what
happened.
Kierkegaard critiqued Christianity through. Like Christianity, in essence, being about life affirmation, being disciplined, looking inward, having a true, authentic belief for yourself, not going. And this ties into something even more broad, which is how you answer God's calling is making your love for God visible through labor, through
you said
active worship.
you said
There's one thing to go to the church and worship passively, and to get on your knees and to put money in the donation cup, and to think that you're virtuous by showing up to church every Sunday. It's another thing to live your life in a particular type of way.
Do you believe Peter was masculine? I mean,
uh,
he set up the church, right? I mean, this is what you're criticizing religion, So if
No, I'm
Peter
not
set up the
making it as
church,
absolute as you're arguing. Of course,
right?
I pointed out that I'm aware that he was against homosexuality. He was against women in the church and these type of things. But
Yeah,
but
he set
this
up
this
the
was this
authority.
was the bifurcation point of how modern Christianity metastasized into a feminine religion.
But how? See, this is what you're not. But
I just
will you
laid it
call
out.
it
You're
out
not
though?
listening.
No. I'm challenging you. Currently today, right? Paul's dead. Peter's dead. Today, right? In Western society, who is the cause of this? Are you willing to call that out?
I would say the cause of this is more postmodernism in general. Just the
But
idea that
who's
there is no
influencing
objective truth. This
postmodernism?
this idea from French philosophers like Jean-Paul
Mm.
Sartre, who inverted the Cartesian notion of essence preceding existence. No,
I'll
existence.
tell.
You're born with an innate greatness. There's men and women have an innate proclivities at birth and tendencies to be masculine and feminine, as opposed to go. There is no objective truth. There is no objective
But there
beauty
Yes,
is an
there
in
is.
these
Yes,
influence.
there is.
There is
Can
an
I?
Of
influence.
course,
I'm gonna chuck
that's
a
the
word in
point I'm
here.
making.
Hey, Max, real
The
quick, real
Of
quick.
course,
go
There
go
is an
ahead.
objectivity is
influence,
real.
JW.
God, truth, beauty are all synonyms and synonymous with each other.
But Jesus pointed out who that influence was.
You're saying
He
you're
pointed
saying
out
it's
the
the Jews.
influence. I
You
mean,
said.
what my point is this. Okay,
Go
real
on.
quick. I see on your page that you praised Donald Trump, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. I'm not even a really political guy,
Well,
but
then don't ever speak
um,
of the president, the
right, that's
greatest
fine. It's fine.
president of
You
our
believe what
time.
you
God
believe.
bless Donald
But
Trump.
my thing is this, JW. Is he a Christian?
Jew.
Is he a
JW, do you
Christian?
consider Fuentes to be your antithesis to your message?
To some extent, I think we align in
Is
certain ways,
JW?
but there's
I'm
just so
sorry.
many characteristics of him that I wish I could get with him and mentor him. I think he'd be a lot more influential and a lot more impactful. If he's really about pro-America, he wouldn't be anti-family. He wouldn't be anti-traditionalism. He wouldn't be as degenerate as he is in a lot of ways. You know,
Did
Yeah,
you
but
see his rant the other
is
day
Donald
about
Trump
sentimentality being a
right?
non-masculine virtue?
Right.
yeah. The number one commonality of high-level thinkers is rigorous empathy, being sensitive.
Okay, so I'm just saying,
This is
take
how
Trump for example,
when you
right?
when
He's the
you
Rigorous
leader of the
when
free
empathy,
you
being
world.
seek other
sensitive.
people's perspectives
There's.
and you have the ability to analyze them thoroughly and then synthesize them with your own, you begin to have a higher order understanding of the world. So you have more intuition, you have more empathy, you're able to look in people's eyes, you're able to walk in the room, read the room, you're able to impact people greater, you're able to connect with people. Aren't we all supposed to connect with each other? Don't you understand that cooperative game
Okay, so
Are
structures?
you
in
saying? Are
this
you
country,
saying that you should
I
empathize
just
with
want to get to
sin?
the point. You
Yes.
guys are pushing away from the point. I'm trying to get to a point with him.
Um.
So you admitted you believe Trump is a Christian, right, JW?
No, I'm not going to get into his religious preference.
But you're okay.
We
But you're
don't
talking
we
about
don't know what
masculinity.
his alliance with Israel is. To assume that our government is going to be fully transparent about the relationship with Israel is fucking obnoxious.
How is that obnoxious?
Because our government doesn't, and from a game theoretic perspective, why would they disclose all their fucking advantages through an alliance with Israel?
Wait, so you acknowledge that there's been a change in Western societies, that then there's been a feminization of Christianity.
Yes, and I
This
believe the
wasn't
Marxist
happening in the
Jews,
40s. Hold on, chill
the
out, 1 second.
intelligentsia
This
class
wasn't
has a lot
happening.
to do with
JW,
it.
you gotta listen.
You
JW, you gotta
gotta.
listen.
Yeah.
So this wasn't happening in the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Oh,
As
it
time
started
went
happening
on,
in the 60s.
Let him speak.
so as time went on, things have changed. Obviously, if Christians were at one point in this country masculine, what changed over time? What someone had to influence
This is
something
called the long
in order
march
for
through
there to
the
be change.
institutions. All of our elite institutions have been captured by Marxist
Ah, very
Jews,
good. Okay.
the
This
So
nigga gotta say
intelligentsia
them.
class of, of
so
Jews.
who should you so let's be real, JW.
It
If you
doesn't
want to
mean
get to the bottom
Israel
of the line.
necessarily. It means the Ashkenazi, most specifically, the outsider intellectuals like
Where you
Herbert
see
Marcuse, these type of
okay, and
individuals.
who and
Antonio Gramsci. Are you familiar with Antonio
do you
Gramsci?
see this happening in Russia?
His
Do you
paper
see this
called The
happening in
War
Russia?
on Position. Are you familiar with his paper, The War on Position?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to the point. What I'm
Well,
trying to say.
the point
Okay.
is that
The point
all
is you
Marxist
acknowledge the
revolutions,
problem, but
all Marxist
you blamed all the
revolutions
wrong people.
failed and never materialized. So they understood it wasn't going to be a radical overthrow of capitalistic systems. It was going to take incremental warfare over time, which Herbert Marcuse came to America and discovered there was no struggle in the working class struggle because the American middle class was booming. So then he saw the rise of Martin Luther King and the second wave feminists, all the student protesters against Vietnam, all the grievance groups, and he merged
Mm.
them. And then they started to capture all the elite
And
institutions. This is what's called
who
the Long
funded those
March through the
movements there?
institutions.
Jacosto, what
And
was your point?
who funded those movements?
The predecessors to
Who funded the civil rights movement
CIA,
with
which is
Martin
called the
Luther King?
OSS.
Jacosta, don't ask another question. Tell your point.
Yeah, go ahead, Max. Okay, so yeah, so who funded
The
these
OSS,
movements?
the deep state,
Okay, you keep saying all these other
The
terms, but
OSS were the
here's the truth. Here,
predecessors to the
I won't get too
CIA.
deep into
They're
it.
the
It's
ones
fine.
who
We won't
brought
get.
over Herbert Marcuse and the Frankfurt School of
Look,
Philosophers that were primarily Jewish.
look. I understand you don't want to like call it out and stuff. I get it. I'm not trying to put you
No,
in a
I'm
weird
literally
position,
calling
but
it out. You're not calling out shit.
Do you know what?
listen,
I'm
I'll
literally
call out
saying
my
names
something.
point
of
is
the
this: I'd
individuals
rather
that led
you.
to the
Well, hold on,
capture
Max.
of our
Max,
elite
chill out. 1 second.
institutions.
Go on.
So I'd rather you. This is what I want from you, JW. How about this? Instead of blaming the Apostle Paul, which is ridiculous, how about you talk about what made Christianity feminine, and then you
How
point to
about
the
the fact that
groups
I'm
that
even
have been
exposing it,
influencing.
faggot?
Why are you interrupting me?
Because I can.
And then you should hold on. You talk a lot, bro.
And you're
Let me
not saying a
finish.
motherfucking thing and you're wasting the
Yeah,
space and killing
you're
the
getting
Let him,
vibe.
let him,
upset.
let him,
You're
let him
getting
finish. Let him
upset.
finish. Let him finish.
So instead of blaming probably the bravest people ever to walk this planet, how about you blame the institutions?
Oh, I do.
Name who runs those
Constantly.
institutions.
I've done way
Name who
more
funds those
research and have more
institutions.
capacity to speak on this than you
Okay,
do.
great,
You have no clue
excellent. So you
about
should
any of the shit I'm educating you on right
right.
now.
I believe in you, bro. I believe
Okay.
you're very intelligent. So don't attack Christianity. Attack
No,
the
you're being
influence.
fragile right now because you have a bias because you're a mediocre man and you
No. I
think
want
that you're
because I want you to be
defending
Wow.
accurate.
Christianity.
No, I want you to be accurate
I'm being
because
very accurate.
you're blaming the wrong
Is there not a
people.
misinterpretation of Christianity, the New Testament? Like Jesus' Sermon on the
Guys,
Mount is
it's
perhaps the
completely
most
irrelevant to
misinterpreted.
masculine.
Like
That's
when
Okay.
completely
Jesus said,
irrelevant to masculinity.
when Jesus said, the meek shall inherit the earth. Blessed are
What
those
about
who are
it?
poor in spirit. These type of things.
Yeah,
The
what about
narrow
it?
path
Okay, that's irrelevant
is
to what
the
I'm
righteous
talking
path.
about,
No,
bro.
these are all the things that are misinterpreted to think that
What does it have to do with anything?
because people think that being meek is a virtue. These feminine
Being meek is a verb. Do
characteristics.
you know what meek means?
Yes, meek means to be dangerous but under control.
What? Where did you get that definition?
That's what the definition was in those times, my boy.
No.
Yes.
Study. You have to study the Greek, man. Meek does not mean be dangerous but under control. What are you talking about?
Yes, it
Being
does.
meek?
Have you not
No,
heard
it does
Jordan
not.
Peterson speak on all these things?
Being first of all, being meek means being teachable, and secondly,
100%.
it's waiting upon God to right the wrong. You're putting your trust in God's sense of justice because whatever you want to do to your victim or to your enemy, God can make sure he exacts perfect justice. So if you think you're dangerous, oh, I'm gonna get back at your enemy. Trust me, you can't do it better than God can.
Being
So
teachable
my thing is
literally makes you
being meek.
dangerous. You're saying the same thing.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It makes you patient.
So any
It makes you
dangerous
patient.
man just was born dangerous, or did he learn how to
No,
become dangerous intellectually,
waiting.
physically,
Wait, hold on.
financially?
Waiting on God. Hold on. Patiently, knowingly waiting on God's justice doesn't make you dangerous. I don't see the correlation. Anyway, you should be calling out the people actually
I do,
influencing
but you should be
Christianity in the
because you're
West.
not able to because you're a
All
nitwit.
right.
But yeah. But
I-
that was my main point. That's it. I don't want to loop. But go ahead.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you this. I find it very interesting that you're saying that original sin doesn't exist because I think that sin is such a core and important thing. Because one thing you did say is that the core inside of us is innate greatness. But if we have that, we become hedonistic and we worship ourselves, and that's satanic. And if as we do have sin, every single day we now have to fight to show God that we are deserving of His love, and we praise Him.
Yes, we have to do error correction and course correction. When we make mistakes, we need to take accountability to the mistakes that
Yeah,
we're
and you know
making.
Jesus called them out though.
Every
Jesus called them
baby is
out.
born pure with nothing but love. Every baby is born 100% pure. No baby is born with sin.
But what about her mother?
That has nothing to do with the
Is
baby.
the tree bears what type of fruit? It depends what the tree bears. A bad tree makes bad fruit. Henceforth,
No,
it needs
that's
to pay for its
semantics
sin.
because you can take a
It's not
prostitute
semantics.
and give birth to an incredible baby that rises above it.
Okay, well let me
The
ask you,
difficulty of
JW.
their
Are
circumstances,
babies
The
they
womb of
realize that
Mary was
their
JW
mother's
sacramented.
mistakes is something that they would never put themselves through. And they become a much
JW
better person.
Why was the womb sacramented then?
are babies perfectly obedient to their parents?
Of
Yes, gone
course,
bro.
babies are born in a neotenous, helpless state. They're not able to be obedient because they have a blank slate.
But they need to be
Are
taught. They
hold on.
need to be taught.
Exactly. Do they grow in wisdom or are they perfectly wise?
I didn't say anything about wisdom. I said purity.
Okay, right. So when you're born in an imperfect state,
No, that
you
they're born.
obviously need
It's
to
not
grow in
imperfect. They're
understanding, grow in
born
wisdom. You need to be
completely
taught.
pure and
You're
perfect.
you're not
Yes, you
perfect.
are.
No, none of us are
No. What are you
perfect.
talking about?
You're born
Because if you
completely pure, pure intent.
No.
A
no,
baby
No.
has to be
no, you're wrong.
distorted by the environment to start to have fear-based
What's the
intention.
scientific evidence for that? What's the scientific evidence for
Even
that?
The
even
scientific evidence is literally the
here we go.
fact that we're the only species with the frontal lobe.
Oh,
We can't be hardwired for
wait. So you're
survival.
saying that you're not born with genetic defects?
We're the only species that can't be hardwired for
Here's
Wait.
survival
So no,
because
are you no
we can think
scientifically? Are you born
abstractly and make
genetically
tools
perfect?
that radically modify our environments. So you have to be born with a
Okay.
blank. This is the
Listen,
essence of neuroplasticity, my boy. Shut the fuck up and learn something.
yeah,
hey,
you're getting mad. You're
No,
getting
I'm
but look
mad
not.
what I
because you're not
found.
right.
I
Look
want
what I
you to
So
found
here's
shut
the
up
thing:
and
are you
listen.
born,
I'm
JW? Are
teaching you
you
about
born with disease?
neuroplasticity,
Are
how
there babies
malleable our
born with
brains
genetic
are,
defects? You're just
the
wrong
effects of
because
mimicry.
no babies can be are born imperfect.
No, they're
They're
not.
100%,
born genetically defective.
You
100%.
sound fucking
That's why you need
retarded.
good. That's why
You
you need
sound
good
What?
parents.
retarded.
If you
You're
have
What are
talking
you
bad
about a
talking
parents,
about?
baby
if
is
you
born
okay, right,
impure.
if you have bad parents,
And they learn
and
that through
you're
the environment over
the
time. I'm
first
talking about on
yeah,
day
and the first
one. They're
yeah,
born completely
on
pure.
I mean, you're
that's
making
why
a
we
mute
have
point.
yeah, it's a good point, but
You're
that's what
making no. It's not a good point. He didn't say
it's not.
anything
You're
good.
Yes,
lying.
I
I'm lying.
did. I said we're born because of the fact that we think abstractly and create tools that radically modify our environments,
You know
unlike
what's
any
so
But
other
funny,
you're
species.
You know
We
what?
have to be able to
You should
mimic our environment and learn. This is the essence of
this is what
neuroplasticity.
happens when
do you
you
know
don't
Our
understand.
brains are built to
Bro.
fire and wire together so we can radically rewire our neurological circuitry and adapt and be flexible to the radically modified times that we're living in.
Nah, bro, JW, you're being naive,
But
man. I
what's
mean,
the argument?
you're
No,
I
believing
you
don't
are
all this
being
understand.
naive.
propaganda, man.
the argument
You're,
is that we are born with sin, and every single day
I don't believe
I mean,
that.
I can flip that into something
okay.
useful. Are you familiar with the word atonement, which
yes.
which can be broken down into at one ment? I speak about the purpose of life being
Oh my goodness.
at one. The low int. Bro, you are an obnoxious little weasel. When I'm
No,
talking,
I'm
shut
bro.
your bitch ass up
Yeah,
and learn. You are a nitwit.
and
At
believe
1 minute, no,
has
bro,
lie in it.
stop it. At
This is
1
some
minute,
this is some
Why don't you shut the
GT33
fuck up
no,
shit.
and listen?
bro. No,
Tell me
that
what
is not.
entropy means.
Are
Tell me what entropy means. Define
That's
entropy.
we
not
in?
that's not linguistically coherent, my
No,
guy.
no
At one
kidding.
minute.
This is called semantics to make an abstract point. Can you explain
Okay,
what
so you're
entropy?
making an abstract
Shut your
point from
bitch
an
ass up and
abstract.
explain what
Bro,
entropy
what are
is.
you talking about?
What the fuck?
Explain
I'll
Go
tell you
ahead,
entropy.
go
this.
ahead, go ahead, go
I'll,
ahead. Do
I'll,
your
Have
thing,
you ever
bro.
even heard the word entropy in your life? Of course not, even though it's the most
Yeah, no, no,
important
yeah, no,
thing human
yeah.
beings can
It could
understand.
be broken down to entropi.
No, I'm speaking about the low entropy state is literally one. Are you familiar with Plotinus?
Yes.
Okay, now what is the primary teaching of Plotinus? Immanence.
Listen,
We all
bro, that
emanate
nigga
from
is
the same
school.
singular source, the one, the one. And the purpose of life is to return to the one. At one mint, you stupid fuck. Shut your bitch ass
yeah,
up
no,
and learn from
no.
a
I mean
master.
that's
You are a little
that's a
incel dweeb.
bro. That's like a. I mean, okay, like that's like a logical coincidence. That's great for you,
No,
like that you
everything
found
in
that.
this life is about entropy reduction, which is
We need some
reducing
bitches
hidden
in here.
information.
We
No,
need
you
some.
just made that up.
We need
You
some
just made
bitches
that
in
up.
here.
No, this dude's a little
At 1 minute,
pipsqueak. I wish there was a real
you said at 1 minute. You know, we eventually
Yo,
become
Max, add
one.
some bitches in here, man.
Got
That's
you,
just
bro.
crazy. Man. What are you talking about?
matter of fact. You motherfuckers, when I'm speaking, need to shut the fuck up because Zherka brought me up
No,
to
you
hold
see,
shit
you're
No
down.
too
bitches are
prideful, my
listening to
guy.
this,
You
He
bro.
would
gotta
never invite any of
like.
you pipsqueaks up here to
Let me have a
talk.
look, bro. The
This is
fuck?
my space now. If Zerka's not in here, this is my space.
Listen,
Yeah.
And
Zerka
Zerka
is
asked me
always
to
here.
come up.
Look, mate. One
Zerka is
thing.
brilliant on his own. He doesn't
One
need you
thing.
on his space.
One thing I will say is that you're saying that sin doesn't exist, and you've argued sin, and I'm not gonna lie, your
I said
point
it
wasn't
doesn't
great.
exist on a baby who's born. A baby is born pure. If you think a baby is born with sin, you are a fucking nitwit.
A baby.
That you have no substantiation for that. You just say it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
No,
wait. So why do
literally,
y'all
every
think?
every single human being is born with what's called
Literally. So
tabula
literally.
rasa, a blank slate.
So
We cannot
when
be
baby's
hardwired for
born,
survival. This is the essence of neuroplasticity.
you lost that argument,
No, I
bro.
did not.
Wait, so why do you think
sin
babies
sin
are have sin?
is sin is so incredibly important, okay?
Yes.
And ever since Genesis, we have sin. This means that we're talking about the tree. Let's go to the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. When you bite from the fruit from that tree, so we all have sin. So if a woman who has sinned in her life, she has a baby, that baby will have sin.
No,
To be honest, I
no.
don't agree with
No, Max.
JW with a
No,
lot of things,
Max.
but I
Well,
agree with JW on this.
What
okay,
do you not agree
explain
with
to me
me
why.
on? Be specific, because everyone's always vague with me, entropic, chaotic, confused, distorted, trying to distort my message. What specifically do you disagree with me on most? Let's hear
That
if you could
in the
substantiate that in any way. Go ahead. Be specific.
the Bible in the Bible it says that, and sin is incredibly important. When you say
Of course it is,
that
from a
when you
fucking
say
conscious being that's making
yeah,
decisions and formulating
you
thought from
ask a
intent.
question and then you shout, man. It's like
Every behavior emerges from thought. Thought emerges from intention.
yes,
Babies are
and
unable
in
to
our,
have
okay,
intent on
great.
their
You made
first
a
day.
fantastic point. You made a fantastic point. So we have our thoughts, okay, our thoughts, and we have fantasies, right? We don't act upon every single fantasy, do we? Because sometimes we have fantasies that are bad, like I don't know, thinking I can fly and throw myself off of a
Right.
balcony. But I don't do that. All right. One thing that is incredibly important is that we need that there is fantasies and desires, and there are some things that we have to keep in our mind. But when we are born, we don't know these things. So when we do mess up, this is why we do have the maternal and paternal in the family to teach us that. But obviously, we don't have many great mums and dads nowadays. Henceforth, we don't have many thriving marriages.
Okay, that has nothing to do with a baby being born pure.
Max, do you believe that the if the mother has sinned, do you think it transfers on to the child?
The Bible believes that,
Do you believe
and
that?
No,
and
actually, the Bible doesn't believe that. That's actually something a
well,
Pharisee asked Jesus,
go on.
and Jesus denied it. Because somebody walked up to Jesus and asked him, "How does that
Jesus
baby? How
was
did that
life
baby?"
affirming, as I said
No, no, wait,
earlier.
hold up, bro. You're interrupting me.
Who
When the baby
introduced
was
the
born, it
concept
was
of original sin?
when the
Paul.
baby was. Wait, bro, let me say something.
You just
When
proved
the
my
baby
point.
was born, yeah, you want to hear yourself talk, don't you? So when a baby was born, he was born with a disease. So someone asked Jesus, who didn't know, right? It was a Jew, and he said, "How was he born with this disease? Did his parents sin?" And Jesus said, "No." So we all understand
What's
that when,
the
when babies
sorry,
are
go on.
born, they're born with genetic defects.
Jesus
They're not
believed
pure.
that.
They're not
And then
born
Paul
pure.
misinterpreted that with the concept of original sin.
How did Paul misinterpret that?
He is
Can
the
I
one who
find? Let
literally
me find
created
it.
the concept of original sin and
Can you
popularized
show
it.
me the scripture where Paul misinterprets that?
I'm putting it on.
No, 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 not you, Max. You're not the one making that accusation against Paul.
Now I'm talking about the one about Jesus saying that.
So, so what's the scripture, JW? This is you're believing all this. Like, I think like you just read too many like books about people's perspective when you should read the Bible and just read it. Like,
Amen. Amen
read the
to that.
Bible, try to understand it, because you're saying Jesus is the prototype, but then you're making false claims about Paul because you read other people's books that falsify claims of him or falsify truths of him. So that was my main thing, because I see you have this thing against Paul. I'm like, what is that
But
about?
and one thing I'll say, right, is Paul was writing to the churches, and he was instilling lots of things. And what's quite ironic is that JW is saying that what's happened to the West? Why is the West like this? Why is the West like that? Funnily enough, Paul was the person who was sending messages out to all of the churches on what they were doing wrong. So if you're saying that his stuff has been misconstrued and things have gone wrong, I don't know. Maybe we should listen to Paul more
Did
because
JW leave?
yeah, because I cooked, bro, and you cook.
No,
Let's
no,
fucking
he
go.
should. He's probably coming back. I mean,
Well,
he's
let's
got.
hope so because
I was
he.
wondering why it got so quiet.
Yeah, he's the content, man. He's the content, man.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I wanted to get something, something going with.